The following is brought to you by the People's National Party.
Make the trumpets play. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. We can tell me how we can do it together. When we look to the future of precipice, we see Jamaica needs the vision of the PSP. People said the bag of promises, them can't carry go shop. And the crime rate getting higher, wonder when it does now comrades. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. We can tell me how.
The proceeding was brought to you by the People's National Party.
All right, my wonderful peeps, my wonderful Jamaican brothers and sisters, right? Love on a bad. Now, yes, Melting Pot will be tuning in, right, shortly. But let me say this, Jamaica, because I have spent, right, let me just give the chat a little more time for people to rope in. I have spent, right, couple days digging into some investigation. And let me say this to you, Jamaica, trust me, today I want all the ears of the people. I want as much Jamaicans hear today's show, because what I have, unveiled is a treasure trove of corruption. And I realized that, some folks in mainstream media, like the spin doctors for the Jamaica Labour Party, don't want us to speak, and particularly where, some channels are concerned. Channels like, of course, Andre, right, a mystic sensation, a Ratigan, a lonesome man, a melting pot, and right, and ABR and Isabel Rose, and right, hot off of the press, talk your mind, and these people don't want us to express ourselves, right, as it relates to the political input that we have we indulge in. However, what we are going to reveal today is mind-shocking. When I, right, came upon it, I couldn't believe it. I'm going to give you a tip of the iceberg, because as I said, I want people to just share out the life, because trust me, this is more than bombshell. Yes, man. More than bombshell. You see, we always talk about crony capitalism, and Michael Manley talk about the cliques. But who are they? And as it relates to the political party at the end of the day, Jamaica Labour Party, the history of corruption, mighty God, it's no normal. NCB, let me call you out, because you are an entity that back and support corruption. Remember, big and have no strength and all them thing there. But you see, when me I present my facts, can't go up. I don't care how big and powerful you people are. That's why when I am doing my investigation, I make sure I present the facts. And I am saying, you see, today, yes, you people are going to get burned. Andrew Holness. Let me tell you who the people are going to get burned today. Andrew Holness, Darrell Vaz, the Jamaica Labour Party Administration, NCB, Michael Leachin. Yeah, man. I am coming out for you today because what we are going to reveal, we are going to show the people the history of the corruption. Although I somewhat, in terms of when I investigating and carrying social media, right, for going over 2 years now, right, I realize as it relates to the journey that I was taking, and I perceive that certain things, right, would have been set in place. But for me now to go and recover the evidence, is a different thing. Even though I was investigating, right, I remember time and time I called Melting Pot and I said to Melting Pot, based on what I am looking on, right? Because I always call Melting Pot, always have a reason with Melting Pot, right? When I came upon certain evidence and we rationalize it, and I said, this, right? And I will always give my opinion, even as I'm talking about Melting Pot is here, right? Let me just bring up Melting Pot. Blessings Pot, welcome, right? Tour of duty today. Today is heat wave, tsunami today. I can guarantee that. But as usual, let me just go into the chat and meet our wonderful brothers and sisters, my Jamaican people who I love, right? I mean, trust me, dearly. And yes. Now, let me say this to you, Jamaica. Because really and truly, social media can't pay me, right? And I am happy in terms of the institution that I am working with. They pay me awesomely well. So I'm extremely comfortable. But my extreme comfort does not take away from me to defend my people. So YouTube can't pay me. YouTube can't pay me. Yes, and I work with top companies, some of the biggest companies in the world, right? Doing investigation and so forth and so forth. But I have to defend my Jamaican people. Because guess what? I have traveled. I've traveled to the United States, right? And, I mean, I've been there, done that. But let me say this categorically clear. That there is no world, there's no place in the world that have my heart like Jamaica. I am a born Jamaican. I am a son of the soil. I love the sea. I love the land. Lord, I love the soil. And no matter where I go, Jamaica is my home. And yes, Canada nice. But although I am here, sorry Canada, Jamaica nicer. And I defend my piece of territory. And defend my brothers and sisters with my skills and talent. And that's why, yes, Melting Pot, my brother, we are going to reveal some things today. Oh my God. People may want to send out the live, share out the live, make the people have come because they need to hear this. Them need to hear this. This is not bombshell. This is a tsunami. Daryl Vaz, you know what? Before we do that, let me just go in the chat and meet and greet my people, right? Because I tell you something things say. Today is a different day. Laverne, yes, Laverne, you're the first person in the chat. Bless up, love you. Patel Krushank, yes. Leighton Brown, Peter Davis, right? Morel King, right? We have Azil Mafia, right? Charmaine, Elmira Smith, right? Lorian Folks, right? Fiona, Beverly, right? All the people from European, Pauline Robinson, and Phyllis Brown. Now, let me just, without any further delay, let me just have my brother, right? Just meet and greet his people as usual. Melting Pot.
Yes, my brother. Enough
Yes.
greetings and blessing to everyone tuning in, especially my UK people, you know. Yeah, man, I see Fiona Burnett. Yeah, big up Fiona, enough love and respect, girl. Yeah, you don't know Beverly. I said big up Melting Pot, big up CMA Beverly. And big up everyone at the chat as usual. You don't know we are family. Yeah, can't change, you know. Family for life. That was around a mystic sensation life. But you know, as usual, a greetings and blessing. I may have to acknowledge my host as usual, Sir Lord
Blessings.
Byron. We have to keep it real, you know, because we know the tabloid around here. So you say
No?
anything when you hear we drop today, when you hear we stand up bombshell or tsunami, better know so it go my people. Tsunami. Yes, my people. So you don't know one love as usual. And back the floor to the host.
Blessings. And here what now? Them can't defend themselves, you know, because we found them guilty. Guilty. And to the fact that we found them guilty, what we are going to do today is, of course, none other than my brethren, Maki Conscious, that, you know, we want to hear a vibration from Maki Conscious. You understand? I want my brethren that, you know. You understand? I know some Maki Conscious are listening to the program right now as we speak. Right? So let us hear something, right, from Maki Conscious. Meanwhile, we have vibes out because today, I tell us today, no normal people, no normal. Trust me. Let us hear a vibes from none other than Maki Conscious himself. Maki, come in at the space. All right. Just giving you a little piece, right, of course, of Maki Conscious there, right? Jamaica, you know the vibes, right, as it relates to what we are doing today. Now, let me start as it relates to speaking specifically to the Jamaica Labour Party spin doctors. And we know them because they make themselves known. the Draws Davis, the, of course, Cliff Hughes, right? And the reverse psychology that they try to do, and of course, try to spin. But they have vested interests into the Jamaica Labour Party because of what they are getting. And I wouldn't mind that they tune in, right, on this show to understand everything that I'm saying. And since they want to shut us up, they want to silent us, what we are going to reveal today, right, we want them to oppose it. We want them to say, okay, which part of that information is lie? Because, as my brother said, we don't do tabloid around us. Natural fact, and y'all get the evidence. When we speak, we have a source, can back that up, and we're 100% confident. Let me say this. My critical investigation, right, as it relates to the history of Jamaica politics, will show you that the People's National Party is the party for the people, is the party that defends the people's history and interests and future. History, interest, and future. And the People's National Party will ever fight for those causes. The Jamaica Labour Party is a party that designed from the onset to sell us out. But what we are going to reveal today, right, let me give you some hint. And let me say, Darrell Vaz. And that's why we know that JPS situation. Let me say this, and for the first time you're going to hear it. The JPS situation, as it relates to the 150 million US dollars. People, you are going to hear the real corruption in that. Because you know what we found? What we found is that Darrell Vaz is one of the main person. Is the engineer, is the architect of corruption. I want Darrell Vaz in terms of what I'm saying. Come on, say it's a lie. You see what I'm going to prove tonight? Shocking. And guess what? All along, I used to, in terms of the investigation that I'm doing, I always say, yeah, but it has to be that way until I find the evidence. Let me say this, Jamaica. And in the meantime, I want you to send out the message. Darrell Vaz and Andrew Holness involved, and NCB. And I'm not good enough today, you know. Darrell Vaz, Andrew Holness, NCB, Michael Leachin, Andrew Holness. We found you. We found you. We found you. Right? Damaging investors, damaging the Jamaican economy, crippling the future of our Jamaican people. Mystic Sensation saying that. Right? And I want you to prove me wrong because we have the evidence today to roll out. But before we roll out, in that, Big Mama, Draws Davis, yeah man, I come for the 200 today. Now, let me show you some things in terms of Big Mama, right on his reverse cycle. But Big Mama, you're just a natural evil. You're on Draws Davis. Because you don't know better, you know. You people know better, right? You people have the evidence, but you don't sit on the evidence. Because guess what? You people simply eating out of the trough and getting the benefit. And that is a fundamental wrong. Right? Now, I am going to make the people hear you. I am going to deal with you first, and then we get into the tsunami. Right? Because the people them want to hear. You understand? And the people them know say mistake, not talk and have the evidence. So me say me want the whole Jamaica lock in. Today. On the midday show ya. Now, enough of me, because me not like the long talking, you know. Me like go to the evidence. And people, last week and the week before, me realized a lot of people were calling me and they didn't get me, because really and truly I didn't have this phone. This is a channel phone, right? Wifey went mistakenly took it up and went to work with it, right? People, so me know some people are calling today, you know. So me have it now. You understand? So for who want to call in, call in. You understand? So my apology for the last 2 weeks. All right? Okay, good. Now we set that clear. So people can call in, right? Because when we said today is tsunami. Let us go into what Big Mama has to say, right? Let us listen to Big Mama here, right? His opinion, right, as it relates to social media. So let us get into that. All right. Let us get into that, people. Right, let me see. I want to get the right information here. And hear what Mr. Confuse has for us. So people, let us take in Cliff Hughes and hear what Cliff Hughes is saying. Right?
If you listen to this program, you would have heard me in the past make the point about an insidious disease that is now infecting our politics, our national life, public discourse, and that has to do with the normal, I call it, I describe it as a normalization of lying in our body politic. I can remember clearly there was a time in our body politic when if a politician, a public person, was caught lying, it would be cause for serious action, including being booted from office. Yes? People would just simply write you off, because if you are caught lying, you would have eroded and spent whatever trust and confidence people have in you. And if you are the holder of political office, especially high office, you have to have the confidence and trust of the Jamaican public. And I've made the point that I noticed that with the advent of social media and the use of social media by our political actors, as in our political parties, in campaigning and disseminating of information, we have now seen this insidious conduct where the parties, the actors and the surrogates, such as bloggers, vloggers, who are surrogates for them, engage in a despicable stream, constant stream of lying, to the point where they concoct stories. Some of them are even now using artificial intelligence to create content to portray their political opponents in a negative way. And I think it has gotten to the point now where it is a real danger and threat. And this morning, there are two issues, two related stories. I see the Gleaner is now running a story this morning where the former Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs, Marlene Malahoo Fort, is proposing, according to the Gleaner, she is asking for criminal libel to be reintroduced in Jamaica. Yes, when you defame someone, you could be charged for criminal libel, meaning you could be imprisoned. We did away with that in 2013 in Jamaica, and that was widely accepted as a way to go. But now, with a torrent of disinformation, defamatory commentary and comments against not only politicians, but people generally.
All right, Mr. Cliff Hughes. Okay. Let me just, address you, sir. So from what you are purporting is that you is extremely credible and you are against persons who make any attempt to defame with lies, disinformation, and misinformation. And so then, of course, all of what you are saying, you are selling the narrative that the PNP, generally speaking, and their supporters, vloggers, and bloggers are sowing the seed of disinformation, misinformation, and as according to you, it's a despicable act. And you would like to have a situation where one can understand that credibility matters. Okay, Mr. Hughes. Point taken. Now, let me just go to another clip, Mr. Hughes. Right? I want for Jamaican people to listen to you in terms of what you said. And of course, I do agree as it relates to one needs to be credible. And one needs to understand that if you are going to sow the seed of misinformation and disinformation, right? And you are going to attack people, right, as it relates to defaming their character, defamation of character, that person should be responsible. And I do agree with you. I do agree with you. That when you defame someone's character, right, they should be penalized. I do agree with that. Now, let me say this, and this is one of the reasons why Mystic Sensation, Melting Pot, a Wayne Lonesome, a Rattigan, right? We do what we call surgical research because we very careful in terms of the information that we are going to put out. Because we are mindful of the legal issues as well. So let me show you something right? And let us hear you again, right, Mr. Cliff Hughes. Not disrespecting you, you know. You understand? I am just juggling down accordingly. Let us hear you again, sir. Let us hear you again. Right? And then I'm going to get to you in terms of hold you up to task. Because, sir, Mr. Cliff Hughes, what you're talking about is that the bar that you have set, you also need to live by it. Problem today. No? Problem today.
255 or find us on Facebook at Nationwide News Network and follow us on Twitter at Cliff Nationwide. You can also listen to Cliff Hughes online live on the World Wide Web at nationwideradiojm.com or via the Nationwide 90 FM app on your mobile phone. Now, here's your host, Cliff Hughes.
Morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's a Monday morning. Let's get to work.
Cliff says, what's on his mind? Unfiltered analysis and commentary.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had.
Yeah. For how long is it that he's going to be out of office? Yeah, it doesn't say, but it says it wishes him a speedy recovery and a quick resumption of duties. Well, we wish Dr. Chang speedy recovery as well. But what was that elective procedure about? Elective. Yeah? Meaning that you choose on the advice of your doctors or doctor to do it and to do it at a particular time. Yeah. This raises some questions. Yeah. An elective procedure over the weekend and is recuperating well. Procedure, was that a surgery or not? Yeah. I suspect we'll have more on this. Yes. But that is a word from the government this morning, just as we were coming on air. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of National Security and Peace, the Honorable Dr. Horace Chang, underwent an elective procedure over the weekend and is recuperating well. During this period, the Ministry of National Security and Peace will be overseen by the Prime Minister. We wish our Deputy Prime Minister a speedy recovery and a quick resumption of duties. All right. Now, you would have, if you listened to this program, you would have heard me in the past make the point about an insidious disease that is now infecting our politics, our national life, public discourse, and that has to do with the I describe it as a normalization of lying in our body politic. I can remember clearly there was a time in our body politic when if a politician, a public person, was caught lying, it would be cause for serious action, including being booted from office. Yes? People would just simply write you off, because if you are caught lying, you would have eroded and spent whatever trust and confidence people have in you. And if you are the holder of political office, especially high office, you have to have the confidence and trust of the Jamaican public. And I've made the point that I noticed that with the advent of social media and the use of social media by our political actors, as in our political parties, in campaigning and disseminating of information, we have now seen this insidious conduct where the parties, the actors, and the surrogates, such as bloggers, vloggers, who are surrogates for them, engage in a despicable stream, constant stream of lying to the
All
point
right.
where they concoct stories.
Concoct stories. Hold up, Mr. Cliff Hughes. Hold up. Let us go to the issue of concocting stories. Let us go to that particular issue, Mr. Cliff Hughes. Let us get to that particular issue that you address in terms of, you know, people concocting stories. And let me say this to you, right? Now, in spite of members of parliament who need to speak truthfully, yes, I do agree, right? But also the media must hold higher responsibility than even those members of parliament. The press have a higher moral responsibility to deliver the truth. Because when the press mislead the people, it is extremely serious. When the press sets out to shape a narrative, to shape a notion for that particular person, political benefit and interest, it is extremely dangerous. Let us show the public, John public, that you, Cliff Hughes, is one of those hypocrites, is one of those political machinery, one of those political spin doctors for the Jamaica Labour Party. And the reason why you are doing that, because you aid and abetting criminality. What am I talking about as it relates to criminality? As a result of you owed $1.8 billion in tax, and the government allow you to continue to deny the Jamaican society its revenue, to deny what could put into social programs. But we are not going to stray. We're not going to stray. Let us go to what you're talking about, the credibility of persons who, whether they are vloggers, bloggers, right, who are to disseminate information and the truthfulness. Let us get to that. Now, Cliff Hughes, I want you to see this, and I want you to say to Jamaica, whether or not you were truthful, whether or not you were credible, or whether or not you were on a political witch hunt. I am putting to you, Cliff Hughes, that you're a liar, that you're a political activist. I am putting it to you that you're also a big hypocrite. Now look at this, Cliff Hughes. Look where I'm going. And I want to speak to you on this matter, Cliff Hughes, and many more that I am going to show today. Today, I'm bangarang in people. Remember, this is the surface topic that we are dealing with today. Now. The rest of the topic, them, trust me, tsunami from the rest of the topic, them, you know. But we're going to go through the surface topic in terms of Cliff Hughes. Now, yes, Cliff Hughes. Cliff Hughes, do you remember this? Now, Cliff Hughes, you speak of credibility, and you are saying that vloggers and bloggers are, right, misinformation and disinformation and all of that, right? Now, Cliff Hughes, let us go back to October 29, 2014, sir. This is what you have done. Cliff Hughes to pay PJ Patterson $12.5 million for defamation. The court found you guilty, Cliff Hughes, of your propaganda and your lie that you have told on PJ Patterson. And as accordingly, you have been corrected and you've been penalized for your propaganda. Kingston, Jamaica, the Supreme Court has ordered journalist Cliff Hughes to pay former Prime Minister PJ Patterson $12.5 million in damages resulting from defamation to his character. Cliff Hughes, did you do this or you did not do this? The court made the ruling a short while ago and was awarded interest, which legal watchers have said could take the figure to at least $20 million. Patterson had sued Hughes, who head the news station Nationwide, in May 2010, claiming he had been defamed and seeking millions of dollars in general, aggravated and exemplary damages. The claim is related to a news item aired by the station in 2009 concerning an incident at the Norman Manley International Airport involving a Digicel charter flight which arrived from Cuba with Patterson. And hear what you did now, Cliff Hughes, right? With the corruption that you involved in, spin, and guess what? PJ Patterson sued you, and guess what? Won the case. So then, you have no moral authority to speak on credibility. But did you stop there? No, you did not stop. You did not stop there, Cliff Hughes. Let me show you. But you did not stop there. You did not stop there. Right? Because you built up the venom in you. Right? Because the People's National Party, right, leader, right, sued you for defamation of character. And you are speaking about defamation of character. People defaming people. How dare you? You have no moral authority on this particular subject. When it comes to credibility, you have none. Absolutely none. That wasn't the first time at all. You continue. You continue with a series of attacks and lies that filter on your station. And here you coming out that you notice that, lies, disinformation, and misinformation being normalized. You have no moral authority to speak on this issue. You're a disgrace. You're despicable. Now, let me show more clip of you, Mr. Cliff Hughes. You have not finished yet. As I said to the people, this is the least in terms of where I'm going, Me and you today, And that's why me draw you out. Right? That's why me draw you out today, In terms of where I am going next. Let me play the last clip with you, I'm finished with you, Cliff Hughes. Right? So, me don't have no time to spend on you. I'm going to show the people them say you're goddamn hypocrite.
So, staying with us here Nationwide at 5, I'm Cliff Hughes. I'm Rodney Campbell. And let me begin with an apology to Mr. Goulding. I made a criticism at the end of the cover story that there was no price tag to the additional spending he was promising. And it missed me entirely because he did give a price tag, yes? He called on the government to spend up to more of GDP, which translates to $40 billion to significantly expand social programs. This is what he actually said. I would support additional expenditures of up to 2% of GDP to address the critical needs facing the society. That's about $40 billion. It is time to focus on helping our people. It is not the time for excessive fiscal conservatism. The government is playing with fire by leaving vulnerable populations
All right, Mr. Cliff Hughes. So you pull back that one because Mark Golden called you out on it. Right? To show you that your pursuit, right, in defaming, telling lies, right? And you have not changed your motive. Because for you, you have to do everything in your power to bring down the People's National Party as a result of the lawsuit that you have received from PJ Patterson. You will do anything in your power to portray them as evil, to portray the People's National Party as bad because of your personal vendetta that you take to media. You are a despicable person. Now I'm not finished with you yet. Let me just go in one more clip with you to show you, you understand how vicious you are. You are an evil person, Cliff Hughes. Right? You're evil like your prime minister. Look at another lie that you concocted. You talk about the concoction of lies. Look at this. What you have done, Cliff Hughes. Look at this. Listen, Cliff Hughes. Look at this.
Primetime News, and a special welcome to the folks watching on onespotmedia.com. Up first this evening, this is what we always feared. Shock and condemnation after a gun attack at Nationwide News this afternoon left staff members scampering for cover. There has been widespread condemnation from the Press Association of Jamaica, the Media Association of Jamaica, as well as members of the government. Now, Giovanni Dennis was on location and he's joins us live on set. Giovanni, first of all, what did you see when you got there?
Well, thanks so much, Archie. Well, when I got there, first and foremost, I saw yellow tape on the outskirts. I was shocked because I was in the vicinity when I got the call from Janella. I got there before some police officers got there. In fact, I just was looking around, commiserating with staff members who I saw, who I know as well. What I saw was this Subaru sedan parked at the front. I saw bullet holes in the vehicle. The shooting happened around 4:30 by a lone gunman on a bike. This staff was a witness.
You know, it's I let out one girl about 4:30, one car, 4:30. And the writer said, write a book. And then I talk to mother on the phone and give me some bike come there. So I then big 1200 and 600, the muffler at the bottom. So I see come and say, I want to swallow in and I pick up a mobile and say, I shop as it. So I don't know anything. So when you do a shot start fire, so I just lean back and just look on the phone, say, so that's, you know.
Now, while we were there on location, I saw the CEO of Nationwide News, Cliff Hughes, come on location. He was getting information from staff because he wasn't there when the shooting actually happened. I walked in the studio, snuck in while they were on air, and I got an interview with him while he was on a commercial break.
My reaction is one of shock. This was what we always feared, yes? And when it happens, you're still in shock, left in shock. And what is uppermost in my mind now is the impact on my staff. Last week or earlier this week, when I warned about the danger of the comments of the PNP General Secretary, Dayton Campbell, this was uppermost in my mind. Those people, yes, who are not well-thinking people, yes? Not the majority of PNP supporters are Jamaicans who are well-thinking people and will take this in strides. But that lunatic, that gunman, that criminal who attempted to terrorize us, Yes? They don't need any further goading or inciting. And my staff this afternoon, especially the younger ones, yeah? We have been here, I've been here, I've seen so many things in my job and career as a journalist, yeah? So they don't scare me, they don't intimidate me, but it's the others on the staff who I worry for. And what if one of those members of staff was coming through that gate at that moment?
Let me take this away, Cliff Hughes, right? This is what is extremely dangerous, Cliff Hughes. For you to concoct a story like that, right? You should have been put in prison. Yes. To falsify information like that and sell it to the public. You should have put in prison, to be honest. If you were operating a true democracy, and what you have created there, what you have concocted there, and lies, wanting to now accuse Dayton Campbell that because of what Dayton Campbell stated, right, is as a result that some political fanatic, right, who had listened to Dayton Campbell, right, had taken on to themselves as a result of the narrative that Dayton Campbell put out there. And so then it get into the political fanatics so that they can come and attack your people. You are vicious. You are vicious. And where you don't have one shred of evidence. Just like the plan that you planned at God knows to burn down God knows, and all these lies that you have told, all these lies that you have concocted. And now you coming out now, right? Who you think you can fool? Who you think you can convince? Majority of Jamaicans know that you're a political spin doctor, you and Draws Davis. Right? And the vendetta that you are carrying for the PNP. We all know it. So let me say to you, Draws Davis and Big Mama, you can spill all the lies you want to spill, right? And we are anticipating, let me say this to you, we are anticipating that many more lies are going to be shed because you are still healing from the lawsuit that slapped on your mouth because of your lying lips. And so then your vendetta and the corruption that you are involving with, robbing the country's revenue. What am I saying? Am I lying? What am I saying? Is it misinformation? Is it disinformation? You have not owed, right, the tax as it relates to $1 billion. You have not owed that. So let me say this to you, Cliff Hughes, because where I'm going, I want you to stand by and listen, you know. Because the next subject is definitely about Jamaica Labour Party, NCB, Darrell Vaz, Andrew Holness. And guess what? Cliff Hughes, go and tell them. You go and tell them, call them, Cliff Hughes. So bang around over here this morning, this afternoon. Because we are coming with it, right? From WikiLeaks information, right? To mainstream media information, and Darrell Vaz himself admitting we have the evidence. We're not going to waste any time because we want people to hear this. You know? Now, let me bring in Melting Pot as it relates to the propagandists NNN nationwide network. What do you have to say, my brother?
Well, it's one thing I have to say, no mistake. I love the introduction of the song where you put on when you start the program. And as Mackie Conscious say, you know, we have to rebel.
Have to rebel.
Yes, my people, we have to rebel. And me, I said it to people, not just in Jamaica, you know, but all over the diaspora, all Jamaican. We have to rebel against the 6-star general we are run the country. I have some category that I want to highlight. But you see the 6-star general, it comprises of Andrew Holness, Darrell Pumvaz, Michael Leachin,
Aye.
Big Swati Mama, Sour Draws Davis, and Straight Edge. Yeah, them die 6-star general for corruption in our country. I mean, like how you emphasize on the media, you know. Very critical entity that for, you know, solidify corruption when you have a criminal government at the helm. Now, when you look on the lieutenant now, the Andrew construct round the 6-star general. Yeah, you see the lieutenant them, a man like Bushrat, you know, Tough Tongue, Agintai, General Lampile, yeah, Gugutu, you understand? Them that the lieutenant when structure around him, you know. You understand? And then you have the Colombo. Now the Colombo, them nothing, you know. And them spread far and wide. But in place them in a strategical position where them can, you know, solidify film corruption. No, the Colombo them consist of Wayne Henry from PIOJ. Man, we have fabricate all the figures them in a Jamaica for Andrew look good. Yeah? You have Glasspole Brown, a.k.a. Tadpole Green. The man with thief the election, orchestrate the election with Andrew Holness and the Labour Party. Yeah? Then you have some other caliber around him, you know. Like the PSOJ them, you know. Yeah? Then you have like all Jamaica for Justice, you know. Them they are caliber, you know. And you see the top half of the umbrella group of churches, them they are caliber round Andrew Holness administration. I just say, they run out and back him. So we know the thing around. You understand? You have some Arikwashi lawyer too. You understand? Like Dark Pa, father-in-law, and another one named Champagne. Yeah? Them they Andrew them caliber. You understand? So when you see you have so much entity, we come together and form a consortium. They know say corruption normalized in the country. Yeah, corruption normalized in Jamaica is the norm. It's the practice. You understand? It's their duty. So when you hear a nasty guy like Big Mama come out and I use some superlative word in the sense of the dictionary, yeah, and the English vocabulary, like disingenuous, dissemination, misinformation, disinformation, lies, propaganda. Now, I say, Big Mama, you have a problem with the People's National Party because of the 12.5 billion the party sue you for. But it's a reason why party sue you.
12.5 million. 12.5 million.
Yeah, 12.5 million is a reason why party sue him. Because of all of what we just highlight, the disinformation, the misinformation, the dissemination, the lies, the propaganda, and the disingenuous. And all of them, they attributed to you, you know. You are the undisputed queen of lie in a Jamaica. What me say? Undisputed queen of lie in a Jamaica. A Big Mama. And the undisputed king of lie in a Jamaica. Andrew Holness. So, this guy can't come out, come say nothing about bloggers and vloggers. And, hey, let me tell you something. You are the worst thing ever happened to mainstream media.
Let them know.
And then you have some minions, some minions. What may I say? Them minions there, are where you shooter and they go in our society. Like the Draws Davis, the Fish Headless, the Straight Edge. Remember Straight Edge that come from around this, So Straight Edge learn the whole pragmatic scene of how lies and corruption and dissemination and misinformation and disinformation, how it, formulate and presented. You understand? Yeah. So we can't have them piece of germ to like Big Mama I run out. Because Big Mama not credible. Yeah, Big Mama one of the individual where right now have Jamaica in a situation where Jamaica is. 1.5 billion in a tax. Yeah? 10 write-off. How them money keep broadcasting license? How them money keep a broadcasting license? This man a delinquent, Very much delinquent. And them things should have wind up from long time. And me a call pan Cardell Green. We look into this NNN thing here. Yeah? Where them go merge with Revo. Because through them know say anyhow the People's National Party did come about, They would have had serious interest into that NNN situation of the 1.5 billion in a corporate tax. So what them gonna do, them gonna merge it with Revo because I saw them know for the corruption. But me I tell them say, no matter how no merge with Revo or whatever, if you can pay your 1.5 billion in full installment without talk about no piece, full member, you have to come off of the area. Because you're delinquent and you're not credible and you cause mayhem in a society. Yeah? And we can't have a media outlet we just come and tell lie at will. And tell lie because it aligns itself to a particular political party. Yeah? Never say nothing wrong about that particular political party. But always seek to attack the next party. Now look on all the stage in a Granny Subaru. The man get escorted from him yard to come at a crime scene. That never happened nowhere in the world. Not even Trump get that. You understand? So when you look on them things, they just show you the close connection, where this nasty piece of shit you have with the ruling government. That's them can escort him to come a fee business place. Yeah, well, and a fee one, a taxpayers one. Yeah, because by right, this belong to the taxpayers, because that no value 1.5 billion. You understand? So say he might operate, as a criminal in our society. But him get them escorted. Yeah? And when time, the eagle send in, we send in and go uncover the scene and see where I go on. And report back. Yeah? See what him do? Him retreat. The way him did come out and talk about who shoot up this and that and I blame people from over the People's National Party. When the eagle go in, and uncover the scene and see what take place and report back on it, him retreat. But me I say, them should have charged him for public mischief. But because him a work with the government and him wrap up in a bed in a corruption, him get to scotch-free. But I should all you came there, all 40 years them dig up the case. You understand? So when him come now and talk about, we are going around a social media side and that the law supposed to come in to charge people liable and all these things. And go from here, so because who make mention of that a criminal. The same individual where I make mention of that law to come back is a criminal. She sell her stepfather 2 house and not give the man no money. She and her sister.
That's what Mackie Concho said. You understand, as it relates to the same persons who supposed to talk the truth and them are tell a lie.
Yeah, man.
That man.
Yeah, man.
Not conscious. Anyway, they big up yourself, my general.
Yeah, man, big up Mackie Conscious. Yeah. Because Malawood mattress, you know, you a mattress, you know. A criminal that like that Rimpley, you know. The whole of them used to thief people property. Whole of them. And one of them, I mean, I talk about woman, you know. Them go around and take away people property. She sell her stepfather 2 houses. Yeah, and I give the man a cent. Neither a white cent nor a red cent. And she love to be a minister. She love, you know, to roam over with society like them credible. And yeah, attach the word honorable. Them dishonorable. Same thing like Mama Cow, Dalrymple. 40 odd years ago, you know. From 1918 of Jamaica people. She had presided over an estate for Richard Clark down in a Mobile. Yeah? And what she do? She take with that. Everybody know that place to go. She take with that child phone all Richard Clark, stepmother Hermin Clark, signature when the woman dead. And claims that she sell the place, but the place not really sell in terms of money transaction. The place just change ownership and paper. And I like money change. Cause which part of the place itch up, you know. Alright, monks, that Rimple, the place itch up same way, you know. It a gone away. Don't go through the surname, no say that Rimple. You understand? So we know them thing they go. It's a criminal empire Andrew use and I squeeze the living daylight out of Jamaica and Jamaican. Yeah, and we have to do a rebel, my people. We must have to rebel. Then if the heroes them did rebel against slavery, who are we not to rebel against a corrupted regime in the country? Who are we? We have to continue the struggle that has been fought by our national heroes. Yeah. To free us as black people. Free us from not mental slavery, but actual slavery. You hear me say, my people? So when you see this little idiot boy I say I'm the prime minister of the country, yeah, I come with modern day slavery. We attach itself to corruption. Yeah, it mentally derail you. So that is what you call mental slavery, and that them use to replace the practical slavery where you go out there in the field and slave in the hot sun and you get beaten. Sometimes you don't go back at the camp because them not care if you're sick enough for them to work, and you go out there and you know perform and draw this thing where I plow up the land, you know. You have man will beat you with whip, you know. Till you're dead and left you in the field, you know. You know who come bury you. Don't? Yeah, man, the vulture come bury you, man. Because them not bury you, you know. I don't like you get no dignified burial, you know. And the vulture bury you. So we see the same thing I running at Jamaica. I remember Jamaica was free from slavery in the 18th century. But Andrew bring it back under corruption style, using various corruption method, run the place, rob the place, mash up the place, destroy the people in life, because him align himself to capitalism. I remember, you know, people, capitalism is for the big man, you know. I can't understand how my people don't understand the abbreviation of PMP. It means People's National Party. That means the party of you. And I like how JLP, and I like how Andrew have the JLP for himself. Yeah? Andrew own the JLP right now for himself. Use it at his disposal to commit various corrupted crime in the society. Andrew, as I tell you all the while, you're not prime minister material, man. You're not surplus to requirement. Nobody no want your service no more in a Jamaica. And that it mean when me say you're not surplus to requirement. Nobody no want your service. Not if the madman want your service in Jamaica. Because when time money are running at Jamaica, madman get money from people. Nobody know no money to give madman now. Because everybody broke in the country because the country broke itself. So we have to come talk and a guy can't shut you up around yourself. Nasty dirty thinking big mama. You a mattress and the wall I wanna. Emily Panty Shield, AK Straight Edge, you can't shut me up round here. We are independent journalists working from an independent platform. Here? So you get to things straight. Yeah? You should be mindful of the corruption we do and know so the network is closing in. How long you think you can operate in our space? Yeah, we want to do and get tracked down. The corruption turn up just like how Andrew said the country not running well. And even when the country not run well, Andrew award himself and the millions them. The highest increase ever awarded to any government official worldwide. So, you know, we have to come beat tonight, you know. And right now, you know the melting pot I get hot round here, so. So, me I go take a sip out of my coffee and back the floor to the host. Yes, sir, Byron.
Woo! You copy that. All right. Love that melting pot. Love that melting pot. Now, Jamaica, where we are going to go, right? We are going to rise the tsunami. But let me give you the background where we are going. And undisputed, cannot be disputed, right? You're talking about top investigators, some of the world best that bring about the information that I'm going to reveal, right? WikiLeaks investigators, right, and other investigators, right, the FBI and CIA, right, who put certain information together. Now, my Jamaican people, let me give you the background where I'm going. NCB, National Commercial Bank, is the bank that seems to be containing, based on the evidence that we are going to show, that it owes, as it relates to many Ponzi scheme accounts. From once it is Ponzi scheme, it is going to ring through NCB. Hold on, I'm getting a call. Oh geez, the caller drop off, man. I walk on, yes, so. All right, let me see. Hold on, let me see. Jeez. All right, caller, you can call me back, caller. All right, Mr. Jeez. All right. I hope the caller will call back. All right. Missed the call. All right, caller, if you're hearing me, you can just call back, right? Because what we are going to lift right now, we are going to get into the tsunami right now. So let me just build the background because it cannot be disputed. It is okay. All right. Yes, caller, you're on Mystic Sensation. Go ahead, madam.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mystic and Mr. Melting Pot.
Oh, blessed my Lord.
I'm wondering, that piece of man they call Prime Minister, I wonder if he lend Lee Cheney money that he need to save his ass. I wonder.
Hey, look here.
Because you got the donation money and you're not spending it on the poor people.
Well, I know you asked a very good question, you know. But, sister, I want you to relax in the class.
Just asking.
Yes, I want you to. Okay, but interesting.
Something got to be wrong. He's not spending the donation money.
Interestingly.
And next thing, why he wants to open a shop to put in the donation, the things that come to give to the people. Why he want to open a shop and the people got to buy things. Those was sent to give to the people, not for only to sell. Huh? Only are you that thief? I know you thief, man, but my God, even a mouse, even a rat would leave some of the food behind. Huh? Why are you going to sell the donation food? Why? You're such a wicked. You're so wicked. Even the devil refuse you now. Huh?
Yeah.
Even the devil said, no, you're more liar than me, boy. You're more thief than me.
I like that.
I hate you, bad. God forgive me, I shouldn't hate people so, but you make my stomach sick. As a prime minister, you don't like the black people.
Oh, no.
You only like them to vote for you.
Oh, no.
Huh? And the idiot, them take up the money and take your money and vote for you. But you never win this election. You never did. And this court case, you never, something is wrong.
Yes.
Something is wrong.
Well,
and what I want to say, I don't have enough money to pay. But what I want to say, the world saying it. Something you didn't know about this case that nothing going to happen because you said 10 steps ahead. That means you know you was going to, but you're not going. We're going to take it to the Supreme Court, even if I've got to give a month of my pension.
Well,
you're not going to win.
But let me say to you. Let me say this to you. Let me say this to you. Andrew Holness' extended arm will end in the confines of Jamaica. His extended arm cannot reach beyond the shores of Jamaica. So Privy Council is going to be a victory. I am not asking that, not telling him that. Privy Council is going to be a victory. And his extended arm of corruption can't corrupt the Privy Council.
Even the wife one should be there too because she going to polling station too and stop polling going on. And she and the two team. Huh?
All right.
I can't imagine someone born in a 1 or 2 bedroom in wooden house. Use chimney at night and come out because you think listen, the big rich man, they don't like you, because they know you never get your money honestly. They will laugh and drink with you,
right,
but they don't like you.
Sister, listen me. I want you to just relax in the class and listen to what I'm going to present right now.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
All right.
But always need to go to prison, and you need to be in a one tiny cell.
Okay.
And bread and water every hour.
All right. Bless up yourself. Bless up yourself.
Pick up yourself, Carla.
All right. Now, people, let me set the background for you. We all know that NCB, right? Michael Leachin, as it relates to Michael Leachin shares, right? Definitely in a problem. Michael Leachin in a problem. And this is going to have a ripple effect. But when I'm doing certain investigation, right, you will see as it relates to how NCB from way back 2006 coming straight up, Ponzi scheme, laundering through NCB. Am I lying? I know that them of them big man are listening to me now. You understand? They wouldn't mind if me slipping now. But we have the evidence. You're coming out with it. Am I lying? No. No. We are going to prove it today. Let me repeat what I just said. NCB, as it relates to all it, Cash Plus, you name them. Partner Plan, you name them. From once it is Ponzi scheme, NCB, the engine and the hub for them. Engine and the hub for them. Big Mama, am I lying? Stand by Big Mama, because I know you and Charles Davis are listening. You understand? So me go show you the evidence. Now, yeah, when we talk, we don't take back, we chat. Round yourself. Now I'm going to show you this first. We're going to show you, you understand, as it relates to the dark cloud that hung over Michael Leachin. Let us get into that, and then we get into the evidence. Now, let us share the screen, my people. And yes, All right. Let us share the evidence, my Jamaican people. Sit back, relax, drink your coffee, right? Whatever you're comfortable with, right? Get your soft pillow and everything. Kick back and relax. All right. Let us get into this because this is just the opening of what we are going to deal with, Listen deeper.
The $94 million debt crisis that could change Jamaica forever. Jamaica, brace yourself. Because one of the biggest stories in our financial history is unfolding right in front of our eyes, and most Jamaicans don't even understand how serious this really is. Michael Leachin, the billionaire many believed was untouchable, is now facing a $94 million deadline that could strip him of his power, shake NCB to its core, and send shockwaves through the entire Caribbean economy. For years, we've heard the headlines. Leachin sells some NCB shares here, restructures a loan there, bondholders negotiating, extensions, grace periods. But now, this is different. Bondholders have issued an ultimatum. Pay the $94 million or lose over 1 billion NCB shares that he used as collateral. In other words, lose the very empire that made him one of the most powerful men in the Caribbean. In this video, we're going deep. We're breaking down why he owes this money, how he borrowed it, why things went wrong, and what could really happen to Jamaica if this deadline hits and Leachin can't pay. This is the real story behind the headlines. How did this even start? To understand the crisis, you have to understand the setup. Michael Leachin didn't borrow this money personally. He borrowed through a network of private companies like AIC Barbados, Portland Holdings Barbados, and others, all separate from NCB itself. These companies raised hundreds of millions of dollars by selling bonds to Jamaican institutions, pension funds, and major investors. This is a standard business move. You borrow against the value of your biggest asset. In Leachin's case, that asset was his massive block of NCB shares. So he pledged more than 1 billion NCB shares as collateral in exchange for these loans. That collateral gave bondholders confidence. After all, NCB is the biggest bank in Jamaica. But it also meant one thing. If he fails to pay, the shares can be seized. At first, it looked manageable. Leachin had dominated the Caribbean finance world for decades. But over time, the companies owed more and more and more. Refinancing didn't fix the underlying problem. Interest piled up. Cash flow started tightening. And now, it has exploded into a full-blown crisis. Why does he owe so much? Right now, there is an overdue interest payment of $19.1 million and a principal installment of $75 million, totaling $94 million. And that's not even the total debt. Across all the companies, the amount owed to bondholders is reportedly over $360 million. So why does he owe so much? Because these companies took on large amounts of debt to expand, invest, and grow. But not every investment returned the way it was expected to. Some ventures underperformed. Some assets took longer to pay back. And when interest payments are missed, they snowball. What started as manageable borrowing turned into a massive, time-sensitive financial heavyweight pressing down on him. This is the same trap many big investors fall into, leveraging high-value assets to fund more investments. It works beautifully when everything is going well. But when liquidity tightens, when markets shift, when cash flow slows, suddenly the debt becomes a mountain, and bondholders want their money immediately. Why are bondholders so aggressive now? The bondholders are not playing around this time. For years, they've extended deadlines, renegotiated terms, and tried to work with Leachin. But now, they've drawn a line in the sand. Pay the $94 million by the deadline, or lose the pledged NCB shares. Why so aggressive? Because they feel like they've waited long enough. Every time there's a delay, the value of their investment is at risk. They want to reclaim their money, and they want certainty. And with NCB shares as collateral, they see a clear path to secure their funds, seize the shares, and sell them. But selling over 1 billion shares of NCB is not a small matter. If these shares hit the market suddenly, it could send shockwaves across Jamaica's financial sector, potentially affecting the stock price, investor confidence, and even NCB's stability. Could Leachin really lose control of NCB? Yes, he could. And that's what makes this story so historic. If the bondholders enforce their rights, they can legally seize the shares and change the controlling ownership of NCB Financial Group. That means Jamaica's biggest bank, the financial backbone of the island, could end up under completely new ownership. The question is not whether this could happen. It's how fast it could happen. Bondholders have already created a unified committee. They've already signaled their intentions. They've already prepared legal pathways to enforce the collateral the moment the deadline is missed. For a man who once held more than 60% of the bank, now facing the possibility of losing almost everything tied to NCB, this is the closest Michael Leachin has ever been to losing his financial crown jewel. What does this mean for Jamaica? Let's be clear. This is not just a Michael Leachin story. This is a Jamaica story. NCB is a pillar of the Jamaican economy. It holds the savings, loans, mortgages, and investments of almost every Jamaican at some level. If control shifts suddenly, the entire financial system could feel the impact. This does not mean NCB will collapse. Banks don't collapse just because ownership changes. But instability, even temporary, can cause panic. A dip in the stock price, nervous investors, regulatory intervention, market uncertainty. Jamaica cannot afford a financial shock at a time when the dollar is already under pressure and the region is still recovering from economic challenges. So, while this is technically a private business issue between Leachin and his bondholders, the ripple effect could spread far beyond them. What is Leachin saying about all this? Recently, Leachin has suggested that the media is exaggerating the situation. He said NCB will be fine even if ownership changes because the bank is strong. He believes the story is being sensationalized. He has remained calm publicly, insisting that a solution will be found. But behind the scenes, actions speak louder than words. He has already sold NCB shares to raise cash. He has already tried restructuring deals. He has already privately negotiated with bondholders. These are not the actions of someone who isn't concerned. No matter what he says publicly, the fact remains, $94 million is due. And missing that payment could change everything. This is one of the biggest turning points in Jamaican financial history. A billionaire who once seemed invincible is now racing against time to prevent one of the largest corporate takeovers the Caribbean has ever seen. And the country is watching, waiting, and wondering what happens next. The question now is simple. Will Michael Leachin find the $94 million before the deadline, or will Jamaica witness the fall of an empire? Because make no mistake, this is not just about money. This is about legacy, control, power.
All right. Let me take away that. Because people, it's not normal. Let me speak something here. Right? That when you have war on drugs in the Caribbean Sea, and where you have Ponzi schemes being blowing up, certain entity who used to be beneficiary of those sources start to reduce on capital injection, then it becomes serious. Now, let us get into history here, and let me set the background. As I said earlier, that our investigation, right? Because, me and my brother Melting Pot, right? We speak of the year, we dig into things, and you understand, we make sure that information that we are processing, right? We make sure that information is tangible. And so then what we are looking at situations as it relates to majority Ponzi schemes, if not all Ponzi schemes that exist in Jamaica, find their way into NCB. And we have the evidence to prove that, which is what we are going to show right now to many Jamaicans. Let me repeat what I said. Many Ponzi schemes that existed find comfort in NCB. Let me go to the evidence. Let me go to the evidence, my people. This not look good. This not look good. So let me go to the evidence. Let me just go to the evidence, my people. Let us bring up that and let me just increase it so you can read as well. Let me just increase this. I want you to follow us. Now, this is Jamaica fall of Orient investment scheme could send ripples through the economy. Right? This is definitely WikiLeaks cable investigation. Right? Original classification confidential. Right? 2008, July 22. Right? Now, let us dig into the history as it relates to, as we're talking about, which appears as it relates to money laundering through NCB as a banking system. Now let us read. Kingston 328, Kingston 00507, Kingston 1749, classified by Nathan Carter, right, for reason 1.4b and D. Summary. 1C, following in the path of several other alternative investment schemes, Cash Plus, Carif, Worldwide, CREFTELS, foreign currency trader Olin appears to have collapsed. Led by CEO David Smith, Olin built a strong following in Jamaica, promising returns of 10% per month. And if it is 10% per month, 12 times 10, you understand, right? If you spend $1 million, you understand, you will understand in terms of, right, the returns that you will get per year. Now, unlike other schemes on the island, Olin appealed to more sophisticated investors. It was subject to a cease and desist order by the Financial Service Commission in late 2006 as it relates to PJ Patterson. Flag them, which also led to months of court battles with the National Commercial Bank, NCB, which had sought to close Olin's account. Olin closed Olin's account. Smith moved his operation to Turks and Caicos in March 2006, although bank accounts remained with NCB. Olin's offices and Smith's home were subjected to a raid by police in Turks and Caicos on July 11. Press report indicated that Smith's assets were frozen and that he is under investigation for possible financial crimes, my Jamaican people. Although no charges have been filed, many investors have not received monthly payouts since the beginning of the year, a Ponzi scheme or scam. Although Jamaica has weathered the collapse of previous schemes, the demise of Olin could cause a negative ripple effect through the already weakened economy. Long time, Jamaica Labour Party who involved in Olin and go some bangaranga today. A long time Jamaica Labour Party have bring down the country, people. With them Ponzi scheme and NCB will back, support and defend them. We're going to go some things tonight. Dennis Cohen, Deputy Group Managing Director at NCB, expressed concerns about the collapse of Olin, saying it could hurt the overall economy a long time when I do it. Jamaica is already reeling from rising food and energy prices, which have hurt growth prospects for the coming year. Right? Cohen told NCAF on July 21st that NCB had filed documents with the court stating that despite public perception that there is between US dollars 50 to 200 million in Olin's account, in fact, there are virtually no funds left. It disappeared in NCB. It disappeared, people, in NCB. How can between US 50 million to 200 million dollars, whoops, disappear in NCB? How can get happen? Let me give you a reflection, my Jamaican people. SSL money over 4.8 billion Jamaican dollars go into NCB, and guess what? Disappear in NCB. So I am showing you the history as it relates to Ponzi scheme, right? Putting bulk of money in NCB. And when it comes under investigation, whoops, money disappear in NCB. SSL money and their investors disappear in NCB. Want to talk to me, Cliff, you talk to me for long, I tell you. Now, 200 million in all in accounts. In fact, there are virtually no funds left. Money disappear. Cohen said the courts have sealed the documents because it is concerned it could create a panic if investors were aware that there is no money in Olin's account. Just like the very same replica as it relates to SSL, where investors have not gotten a dollar, all of the money into NCB disappeared. That behavior as it relates to NCB, that modus operandi, not just only happened with SSL, it happened with all Ponzi scheme laundering money through NCB. Cohen said the courts have sealed the documents because it is concerned it could create a panic if investors were aware that there is no money in Olin's account. NCAF has spoken to many contacts in the private sector and government of Jamaica. The government of Jamaica involved in it. Jamaica Labour Party. Jamaica Labour Party. We're going to show evidence, people. Some investors recognize that it was an Irish currency trading scheme. Ponzi scheme. What kind of trading scheme? What you are pretty tough for? But the common opinion seems to be that Smith had a legitimate financial background and a proven system for currency trading. And that's why I went on PNP in 2012 when Portia Simpson locked them down. Locked SSL down. What Andrew Wallace had done, Andrew Wallace administration had done in 2017. Reissue the license to the criminals. Because this is an organization that fund Jamaica Labour Party campaign. We have the evidence, I can chat anything I want to chat today. And so the Ponzi schemes in Jamaica been created in Jamaica, funding Jamaica Labour Party administration political campaign. Allow me to tell you. But I want to come out and challenge me now. Challenge me now. Challenge me for no bad. When me a melting pot and loan some attack. Challenge me now. We say, you think we just talk around us and have evidence? You think we are Big Mama Station? You think we are Charles Davis? When we are talk, we are bucketive. To show you the coordination as it relates to the level of criminality, the cliques, crony capitalists, rob investors for years. These monies launder through NCB. Am I lying? No, don't talk to me a lie, no. Show me a lie. I think we finish with the no yet. Hold on there. Me a uno. Me a uno today. Me a uno today. Me a uno today. Me a uno today, man. Let me get you more evidence and show the people them and pull them out. Pull them out and show the people a set of vagabond. We don't mean the country no good. Let me reveal you now. Let me reveal you now, man. Think me around with you now? Now people look for the next document and I want to see who involved in it. We don't ramp with them, you know, when we pick up information, you know. We don't play around us, you know, people. Look around us. Come around us. Think we play? Jamaican fraud probe reveals link to politicians. When you come people, anyone for share the live, when you share it out. Want people to know this, we want the whole world to know this, the whole world, the whole globe, the entire globe to come see the evidence. Jamaica Labour Party when it's a disgrace to Jamaica. You understand on what Andrew Holness now a link up with Bill Clinton? Me soon touch a part of you know. And show you some things in the people. Eh? Andrew Holness when me tell you say I'm 100% pure evil, but we're glad we have the evidence and we put everything together. Big Mama come stop this now when we are run out. When we are run out, we have no fear. Because we have the evidence to back us. Jamaican fraud probe reveals links to politicians. This is on May 30, 2012. I could go in it. I never expect someone to find it. I found it. Kingston, Jamaica. David Smith was a large, living and influential figure in Jamaica before courts in 2 countries knocked him down as a fraud artist. NCB support the fraud artist, yeah. Andrew Holness involved with the fraud artist. Darrell Vaz involved with the fraud artist. I call out on the name today, you know. You can't come and stop me. When you have the evidence, an idea. I call out on the name. Big Mama run out over there to talk about misinformation and disinformation. But I read this over. I'm going to say again. David Smith was a large, living and influential figure in Jamaica before courts in 2 countries knocked him down as a fraud artist. Andrew Holness involved with him. Darrell Vaz involved with him. I tell. The Jamaica Labour Party involved with him. He splurged on luxury cars and mansions, flew in Learjet and sponsored concerts and athletic events. Now, court documents say he also was spreading his Ponzi scheme wealth to the country's politicians. Step up, people, step up. I say, share out the live, share out the live. A confiscation order by the Turks and Caicos Island Supreme Court alleges that CIMIC contributed nearly 9 million in tainted money to both of the island's major parties and to several prominent individual politicians, even as he was defrauding thousands of people across the Caribbean and the United States of at least 220 million. Now I'm going to show no evidence, you know, which part them are try also, you understand, when they're involved in them wrongdoing, one try to drag down the People's National Party in it. You understand, the People's National Party not involved in it, you know. Let me say it specifically clear now, we go show the evidence. You understand? But we are show the evidence which part Jamaica Labour Party, you understand? I mean, I say, just a talk, you know. Me they tell you, say Jamaica Labour Party, Darrell Vaz admitted to this evidence. Admitted. And so they do not try. That's all you do all the time. You understand? But time when you involved in no bangarang and no wrong and no thief in business, you understand? No try to dash dirty water or PNP. You see any PNP mix up in a SSL? You see any PNP mix up in a cash plus? Any PNP mix up in a wallet? Eh? We don't keep on a dirty nastiness to yourself. Now, what, if anything, he got for such larges is unclear. But the court finding is feeding demands for campaign finance reforms in Jamaica. I'm going to show you something to, you know, with Nigel Clark. with Nigel Clark, 2020 election, Nigel Clark, you want to talk where you get the money from? Or you want me telling people them say get it from out of SSL? Is that they talk or you want me to talk, you know? Whereas in many countries across the Caribbean and Latin America, political parties have no obligation to declare any funding sources of campaign expenditures. Taxpayers have no clue if huge sums are being donated by criminals or by special interest seeking favors or influence. It happened with Jamaica Labour Party. We go show no the evidence. This affair emphasized the need of urgent reform of the law relating to the financing of political parties, said Lloyd Barnett, chairman of advocacy group Citizens Action for Free and Fair Elections. One of several associations pushing for legislations that would require public disclosure reports, impose contribution and spending limits, and ban donations from unregistered investment schemes like that of Smith, the Ponzi scheme. All of the Ponzi scheme them people may go show no evidence, say them fund Jamaica Labour Party. A Florida court last year sentenced Smith to 30 years in prison after he pleaded guilty to 23 counts of wire fraud and money laundering. He was earlier sentenced to 6.5 years in the Turks and Caicos Island, where his asset was frozen. And remember, I know you're in charge for money laundering, you know. So if him charged for money laundering, that means him laundering some of the money through NCB, put on no critical thinking, no. So when we are talking, we have the evidence and we have the back, you know. See there, a Florida court last year sentenced him to 30 years in prison after he pleaded guilty to 23 counts of wire fraud and money laundering. He was earlier sentenced to 6.5 years in the Turks and Caicos Island, where his assets were frozen, and you know, same asset. You understand him account was in NCB. Talk up the thing, you know. We don't play this morning, you know. Starting in early 2005, Smith built his own investment club by offering interest rate as high as 100% a year. All dirty thief. All dirty thief. Allegedly by pooling money from investors for currency trading. Smith helped fund Jamaica athletic team at an international meet in 2007 and sponsored the popular Jazz and Blues Festival in 2008. Man, you know, so them when you see how them criminals have money. You understand? Rob people money. And you understand? And put on them something here. He often traveled by private jet and helicopter. Darrell Vaz traveled by helicopter to, you know.
Same style.
Same style. Everywhere I'm going on helicopter. You understand? You want to follow in criminal friend. I'm talking to Darrell Vaz. More you run out, you know. When me bust your secret in a SSL, I know me know you say off out of your mouth, you know, you better keep silent. Because if you just chat out of your mouth, you know, me dash out some things, you know, you're not chat. Me well when you're chatting, me have the other half evidence, sit down pan and wait for you for chat. He often traveled by private jet and helicopter, drove a Range Rover, and had property in Florida and Jamaica, as well as $2 million house in the Turks and Caicos. But instead of investing the money in trades, he used it to pay off redemption requests from other investors and funnel money into his personal bank account. Now, in March 2006, the Government Financial Service Commission raided his Kingston offices and barred it from operating in the country, prompting Smith to move to the Turks and Caicos, another Caribbean nation. Now, let me ask a question. Big Mama, you may ask a question. Everything what I say, I lie not tell. Is what I say, is it misinformation? Jan Draws Davis. I lie this, I tell? No, I'm good on more. But Jamaican politicians could continue to take his campaign contribution, even as he battled ultimately in vain to overturn the government order. The opposition Jamaica Labour Party, Bangarang and now people may catch it. How what the Gen 6 say? Catch. Let me catch it. The opposition Jamaica Labour Party has acknowledged that Smith was a contributor but could not confirm if he gave $5 million. Yeah, he gave $5 million US to you that in a court document that can come out. Tested and proven. Evidence being collected by investigators. Yes, when you get $5 million US from him. $5 million US when you get from him. As the Turks and Caicos other states, the party's former information minister Darrell Vaz. Watch out, bang, and now maybe hide it first before we talk. People will have me have to take a seat. A long time Darrell Vaz do crime in the people. Before we read the part, we have to talk first. A long time. Now me start to think now, Jamaica people. Me I wonder really and truly if a Darrell Vaz pull on Andrew Honest in a criminality. Me I wonder now, people, based on history. It appears to me, based on the evidence of me I look upon, Darrell Vaz pulled on Andrew Honest in a corruption. Darrell Vaz. Darrell Vaz is the trigger for corruption in the Jamaica Labour Party. James Roberts, I'm not ready for you yet, you know. You just stay on one card and I have a special clip for you. So then when we look on Darrell Vaz behavior, you realize because him linked with Bush Stewart, him a Bush Stewart godson, linked with Brian Jardim, linked with Adam Stewart. Now we are getting in the crony capitalists, you know, the clique. Him thinks him untouchable. So Jamaica, I'm going to show you a history now and show you say the JPA situation now go end well, you know. The JPA situation now go end well, you know. Why now go end well? Because Darrell Vaz have a history of corruption. Now, let me get into it. The opposition Jamaica Labour Party has acknowledged that Smith was a contributor, but could not confirm if he gave $5 million. As the Turks and Caicos other states, the party's former information minister, Darrell Vaz, acknowledged receiving $50,000 US from Smith for his campaign in Portland Parish ahead of the 2007 general election. You come here, you're coming in front of the class in Darrell Vaz. Come in front of the class. You come in front of the class in Darrell Vaz. So Darrell Vaz, not new here. From 2007, right? Ponzi scheme assisting you with your political campaign. SSL also assisted you with your political campaign. I want to chat off your mouth, you know, boy. Uno corruption. Uno corruption. Uno mash up Jamaica. Uno cripple Jamaica. Uno rob investors. Big Mama defend this. Draws Davis, come defend this. Run out and talk now. Can't go around the Titans, them. Remember me tell you that. The other also alleges Smith gave more than $2 million, right, to the ruling People's National Party, which says it has no record of that. Pierre Lionel. See that? No record of that. But because we're involved in our own dirty nastiness, we don't want to mix up the People's National Party. A PJ party, so we don't want to come call up and on wrongdoing. Unutter and bright. But the party's former Prime Minister PJ Patterson has acknowledged that Smith contacted him ahead of the 2007 election and said he was disposed to increasing what he had previously given to the party campaign fund. Patterson denied an allegation in the order that he had solicited or received a $1 million gift. Right? We don't want to tell life on the man. The Turks and Caicos ordered last month demanding Smith to repay $20.9 million, including $9 million the court found he had donated to Jamaican politicians. Even before the allegations in the order, Jamaica Electoral Commission had filed a report to Parliament proposing campaign finance reforms. Pressure for the measure, right, has increased since, right, and the country's largest newspaper, the Jamaica Gleaner, has demanded in an editorial that politicians give the money back. Trevor Monroe, head of the watchdog group National Integrity Action Limited, said sustained advocacy must highlight the murky workings of special interests, since built investors have stayed remarkably quiet about their losses, like due to embarrassment. Now, watch this now, people. Watch this. Look what I'm going now, people. Look what I'm going now. For sure, something I play now. One thing I play, watch where I go. Now, for show you about Darrell Vaz and Andrew Owners who involved in Ponzi schemes. I'm going to bring up the document and share it. See it here? These are the IC investigation in a people. Let me bring it up. Bad and show now. See that? Andrew Owners, see Andrew Owners here. I'm on Darrell Vaz. See Andrew Owners here, I'm on Darrell Vaz. See that? Source of funds invested in Orient investment, in particular deposit totaling $316,000 US, right? US, right? 113,000 US, 573 in 2006 and 2007. This is Andrew Owners and Darrell Vaz, both in a Orient and both in Orient, both getting benefit, and both Orient, you understand, is also supporting Jamaica Labour Party campaign, giving the Jamaica Labour Party campaign $5 million. Mr. Wallace explained that he commenced investment in Orient in mid-2005 totaling. I'm going to show you the mix-up with them. You understand? Andrew Wallace, you understand? And Darrell Vaz. Andrew Wallace and Darrell Vaz, you know, every Ponzi scheme, you know. All of the Ponzi scheme them in Jamaica, Andrew Owners and Darrell Vaz involved in them. Mr. Owners explained that he commenced investment in Orient in mid-2005, totaling $36,109.75 and $2,316,461.68 derived from the proceeds of loan collections from Omega Bridge Finance, the sale of assets from Sunshine Mobile Company Limited, and interest withdrawn from Cash Plus Limited. See that Cash Plus him involved in a two, you know. Mr. Owners and Darrell Vaz involved in all of the Ponzi scheme there. All of them involved in and all of the Ponzi scheme them fund the Jamaica Labour Party campaign. We have evidence which part SSL fund Nigel Clark campaign, derived from the proceeds of loan collections from Omega Bridge Financing, the sale of assets from Sunshine Mobile Company Limited, and interest withdrawn from Cash Plus Limited. When you hear that, people? Owners Financial Journal indicated that the balance on his account was $108,252.49 at April 30, 2006. People, these are the Integrity Commission investigation. You know. He further explained that in October 2006, his account type changed to an account yielding higher returns to ameliorate discrepancies on the first account he held. Mr. Owners indicated that the $306,033.13 noted as opening balance in his account was therefore not a new investment. Right at August 2007, the balance right in this account was $1,214,177.71. Explanation for additional deposits are noted below. Mr. Owners explained that $80,000 US was deposited in June 2006 from the encashment of a portion of the US 90,000 first global bank repurchase agreement, which originated from the proceeds of the sale of assets in Sunshine Mobile Company Limited, the Leader Taxi Service Limited, and collection of loans proceed issued through Omega Bridge Financing. Financial Journal indicated that 9,995 deposited in November 2006 was derived from the interest withdrawn from amounts invested in cash plus. Mr. Wallace also noted that this deposit of 19,995 US dollars was invested in Wallet in February 2007 from interest withdrawn from its cash plus. Take this away. Take this away. Now let me talk to the people. I want to see the reason why Andrew Wallace remove ADPEM director, right? And put him in an office. And put somebody who he wants there, one nincompoop, when can grow. And continue. You understand? With him sleuth of criminality. The Prime Minister of Jamaica. The Prime Minister. Darrell Vaz. Minister of Information. All of them involved in Ponzi scheme and Ponzi scheme happen. From O-Link to Cash Plus to SSL, right? And where these Ponzi scheme continue to fund their election campaign, robbing investors of their money and damaging the Jamaican economy. Andrew Wallace, what make you wicked so? What make you wicked so? You don't have no ideas to build the economy. You have heavy ideas to rob the economy. Them evidence say you can't hide them. Let me ask you a question, Andrew Wallace. When you join O-Link, you know the damage what O-Link had done to investors. You know this. You know many investors suffer. Can't get back their money while you and Darrell Vaz have up them on their money. You and Darrell Vaz benefited. Now, Marco people, that every Ponzi scheme that they have joined, they benefited awesomely. And the investors lose their money. And not only that, them benefited awesomely and investors lose their money, the Ponzi scheme architect also fund them political campaign. So them rob the investors, which are them know that investors' money being robbed. Them get for them big cut out of it, out of O-Link, out of Cash Plus, out of SSL. And so then the lie when Nigel Clark tell about FBI they investigate SSL, not no go so. The lie when Nigel Clark tell say he's not going to leave no stone unturned, not no go so. Because also SSL fund Nigel Clark campaign in 2020. Then how Nigel Clark is going to investigate SSL. So then who get punishment for this? Andrew Wallace and Darrell Vaz. Right? Active in all of the Ponzi scheme. Investors lose their money in all of the Ponzi scheme. Darrell Vaz are take money out of SSL and send him that to university. People, we have the evidence. We have the evidence. So when you look at these behavior, and when you see this, that Darrell Vaz and Andrew Holness and all of the Ponzi scheme find NCB as refuge. And when the money go in a NCB, somehow it disappears. So NCB now operate a ghost system. For once the criminal money gone in there, the investigators cannot find it. It disappeared. From 2007, Ponzi scheme money that disappear in a NCB. And who they get benefit? Who in a them? Andrew Holness and Darrell Vaz. Now let me put on melting pot. Come say in peace. Melting pot.
Yeah, my brother. Why? A long time we are sound the trumpet and I beat the drum, you know, as it relates to the corruption and who participate, who are recipient of, you know, investors' money and all things. But, you know, you always hear some thing in the grapevine, and when you check and dig deep and find the root, you find the root of the corruption. Yeah? Because, you know, for how long NCB and its, you know, conglomerate have been carrying out this type of behavior in Jamaica. With the fact now you see NCB they're on the verge of winding up as it relates to Michael Leachin and the entity NCB Bank. Dark cloud hanging over them head. So this $94 million deadline deal, yeah, that in its sense does show you where I'm going. And when you factor in another $360 million, a grand total of $454 million with this criminal have come up with in order to save the brand NCB and to save him wealth and to, you know, drag him down from the high echelon of wealth that is, you know, gained through corruption. But we all know, say, NCB are the warehouse, you know. Warehouse, my people, all Ponzi scheme in a Jamaica. Yeah, man. Because all of the money from the Ponzi scheme, them go into NCB and come out of NCB. No secret about that. No secret. And when it go in, you know, it go in dirty. But when it leave clean. In that warehouse, where them do all the cleaning up. NCB itself is a Ponzi scheme bank. You know, you hear me, I say, people, the bank itself is also another Ponzi scheme. But because it have this word commercial bank attached to it, people underscore the operation on a day-to-day basis. Now, which commercial bank you know in the world, when you go and put your money in there, yeah, the bank have authority to go in a yearbook. Not you, people. Not you. The bank itself have the authority to go in your account and withdraw your money. Yeah? So that tell you, say, even NCB was a Ponzi scheme bank run under the disguise of a commercial bank. But lo and behold, you see, anything that attach itself to corruption must come crashing down. And see it? Yeah, and that happened to it right now. Because this guy, I know, as I say, my people, when the money going dirty in our NCB warehouse, because I not call that no bank, it come out back clean. Go recycling or some yachts and all them thing there. Apartment. Yeah? And then clean up itself. So even when you hear them attack, say David Smith, fun athletics team and festival. I clean the money this summer. Them just exchange the money. The J3A, the Jamaica Amateur Athletics Association, they are solely responsible for fund the national team. So when you hear them talk, say David Smith, fund athletics team. Lie!
Clean the money.
Clean the money. When you hear them saying fun music festival, lie! Clean the money there, so. It's like you have domino in front of you and you shuffle it round. You understand? So this high level corruption, it have to carry a whole heap of attachment to it for sustain it time in the space without being uncovered and stuff like that. And people go prison. It have to have a whole heap of linchpin attached to it. To hold it up. Yeah? See, as him run got Turks and Caicos when a linchpin not there, so I'm doing this up. Him get grabbed. Why him never get grabbed in Jamaica? They gonna close down one place and him leave. Yeah? That's all them doing, just close one business place. And him leave. That you call them the slap on the wrist. Like a man say, you up now. Eyes dep on you, You go on with that little thing and stage it like how, we stage run a real the place in the early morning make people think we have work. But yeah, what you do? Just cut and go at Turks and Caicos, man. See the whole of them are got Turks and Caicos, I'll crutch his bully over there too, Yeah, man, look like it's another safe haven over there, so. Yeah? But me glad how the Turks and Caicos authority them grab the piece of shit David Smith. Yeah? And hand him a 30-year prison sentence. You understand? But in a Jamaica, nothing done. That for sure said, as well the report said, the government in a Jamaica attached themselves to corruption. They are the government that pride itself on corruption. Cause remember them garbage, going at the party, them not work, When them do the whole of them run, come trick the Jamaican electorate, them, take them vote. Yeah, some of them not nothing when them come around politics. Take the people them vote, get elected, go in a parliament, yeah, say them honorable, but we know them dishonorable. Yeah? And them use the government system, set up them corruption, them Ponzi scheme, all type of thing, them money laundering, them drugs trafficking, everything with them involved in that. It's under the Jamaica government umbrella. But not when PMP in office. Only when the Jamaica Labour Party in office, these things, become rampant. Because of capitalist mentality party. And capitalists love big money. And look at small money. Them love wealth. You understand? And we are talking about wealth of great proportion. Yeah, that's why I say Andrew show him on, with this big massive mansion where him have up at Beverly Hills. But Andrew is not a manufacturer in the country. Yeah. Andrew is just a guy who come out of a board house. Sometimes them say a 1 bedroom, sometimes they say a 2 bedroom. We know him use chimney, Well, I know back in them time there are some enamel chimney before the plastic one them come in. Yeah, so I'm gonna use a chip up enamel chimney, go out a door and do him thing and get back in. So him now come from nowhere. But here with this guy, we have one subject from UA and the one subject named political science, wherever used by the country. I'm the wealthiest man in a CARICOM, Not just only in a Jamaica, but in CARICOM. Because no manufacturer in a Jamaica now have the wealth where I'm just sit down for them. Real business people don't have the wealth because they have to pay, staff and tax and all them things. You know, you have to tell the same name like pay tax. It's a serial criminal we are look upon in Andrew Holness. So, the fall of NCB banker and Michael Leachin don't come as no surprise to me. That was on the card, only a matter of time. Yeah? Because remember, you see how I put him under pressure. You see how I put him under pressure, people, and the ban whole of them, And them issue an ultimatum to him. Him have a deadline date because I go around the people on several occasions. Yeah? Now deliver from what I'm supposed to do. So I go around the people. So the ban, all of them issue an ultimatum to him, winding up if him not come up with this $94 million on the deadline date. And then now you see where, him owe to the ban all of them $360 million. So the total debt is $454 million. Yeah? So all them have to do now is sell off him share them. Because have over 1 billion share, When this guy, this landscaper here, when he gets so rich, he's a landscaper, That's all him can remember about himself in the working environment, him not have another job. That's a landscaper. Well, me I tell you who I get in the Guinness Book of Record because the wealthiest landscaper this to ever emerge anywhere around the globe. You understand? But this is how them do them thing and them lie to it and we know from a long time. Say Boomvaz. Boomvaz is second in command to Andrew, man. Yeah, and Andrew learned it from the best, Eddie, Remember Eddie had the first man draw down 31 million US and, it now pay back and when it come to light. Him say him not remember nothing. Lie! Andrew did around him at the same time. Yeah, Andrew said he was an accountant, but we know who was the accountant. Andrew, it was you was the accountant. But we know, but left that alone. We know who did have the accredited certification in accountancy. So, but left that alone for another time. Yeah? So, as it's a system, yeah, that the capitalists them operate upon. That's why them don't bring job to the country. Them don't need to. If you can't squeeze the living their life out of the taxpayers and rob them money and rob investors and everything like that, what kind of work you want to do? You don't already achieve it. You're achieving it. So you don't need to do no work. You set up the thing where you can't bring in cocaine in quantity. You can't bring gun, you can't bring ammunition. You can't sell out the country asset and draw down money on the backdoor deal because you sell it to the blessed and weight value. Then you fly out, go collect your briefcase. I saw the guy them operate, but remember the CEO is Andrew O. 28 bank account holders. Him are the CEO. You understand? But him go like say me that innocent guy. But we know him no innocent. No one man with a political science degree can come run a country. Yeah? Him should never give him that opportunity. You need to bring more to the table, but Jamaica need to do them own, research into these people background when them come and present themselves to come into politics. You can check them CV. Because he couldn't use a guy with a political science and that him come use for the country and the people. You're saying he's an accountant or not like that or some man with managerial experience, him study for that and can manage things, Political or science. You see, I use it right now, I mash up the countryman and the people, man. Because what you get from political science, is strict lies and con and PR, misinformation, disinformation, everything like that where you hear Big Mama talk about, All of them narrative where you hear Big Mama talk about. And that Andrew always possess impasse the blueprint on to Big Mama. Big nasty thinking mama. Andrew give you the blueprint because Andrew run NNN. Andrew funded. That's why Andrew make sure keep it afloat with it. This is your Prime Minister time slot. We never happen yet. Nowhere in the world. I travel a few countries in the world. I never hear a time slot that said this is your Prime Minister. Never. And I go more than 1 and 2 and 3. So I'll leave it at that. Yeah, I never hear that time slot there yet. I hear company pay for time slot through commercial. You understand? But these are the corruption where me I show the people them where take place right in front of them in Jamaica. That's why we say at time to do what? Rebel! We have to rebel against high-level corruption. Because corruption does not enhance the growth of a nation. It takes away from the population in terms of the masses. But it goes into some little couple pocket them, the minority. Enough for them pocket the whole of the country well gone. That's why I see the whole of them are super billionaire. Whole of them. You check out them thing, when you convert them US money, it turn in $1 billion in a Jamaican. You understand? So that's what them thing there, you know. That's what them thing there. So we have to look on the system, you know. Yeah? And say enough is enough. Enough is enough. So me like how Andrew thing jump out of frying pan and gone in a one big fire over Privy Council. Because as my Titan brother said, yeah, in a Jamaica, Andrew get all the support, all the corruption will rise like the cream on the top of your coffee. But as it can't pass the shore at Norman Manley Airport, just like how with dollar, now no value overseas, and your high-level corruption don't have no value beyond the boundaries of Norman Manley International Airport. So just like how you see the Strike 5 case with cartel, and you see how ISAT gonna go wrap up the nasty thinking Strike 5 and deliver the justice where the justice is supposed to be delivered. I see him with Andrew thing with Buchanan. I go it a pan out same way. Because no can't rub no butter upon Privy Council, judge them mouth clipping, them no want that, you know. And them no want a rum and coffee either, you know, the finest where we know Jamaica produce, you know. Where them man they want to achieve is a thing called credibility. Because you see the journalists, them in this country, them no ramp with high court judge and official like politician. If you slip, you slide. You slide. Because newspaper have to sell you see how much credible news media we have in the UK. That's why the thing run on a more transparent affair. It's balanced the way there. So Andrew, your demise is slowly coming to an end. Yeah? I'm glad you decide to leave the shores of Jamaica and go get a trial in the Privy Council because that's your thing for going on. We now get the justice in Jamaica because the whole landscape of the thing riddled with corruption, stained with corruption. You understand? Everybody I take butter, you know. That's why Andrew amass so much wealth, you know. Kind of have to stay at the top, you know. You have to protect yourself up there, you know, when you have the corruption, you know. So you have to have money at your disposal. When you put it in front of people, you dangle it. Yeah, it's like a container, a carrot, them can't refuse. It's like a container, carrot in front of a rabbit eye. The rabbit now going to refuse that to jump up in a container. So everybody a jump on Andrew corruption and a try to give him protection. Me know you not get that cross the water when you come to the UK, you know. When you cross the Atlantic, my brother, and drop in the United Kingdom, and your thing enter into the Privy Council, down in London, dog me and your supper. Yeah? And me know say, so your reign from Jamaica as a fearer leader about come to an end. So me just say to my people, stand firm in our no belief, because justice is not far away. And justice, when you come at the Privy Council, them not deny justice, man. They don't. Where justice is concerned, justice is served. Yeah? So the only way we can remove the hands of Pharaoh from the country of Jamaica, we have to drown him across the Atlantic Ocean. I yield back the floor to you, my brother.
All right. Blessing melting pot. Now, where we are going? Now, you have seen that Andrew Holness made a move in terms of brought in Bill Clinton as it relates to the aid relief. And immediately, that sent an alert to the entire Caribbean as it relates to Bill Clinton history. Now, you want now Jamaica. Andrew Holness, who claimed that, okay, he's smart, would have known the history of Bill Clinton. My investigation that I have done showing me as it relates to Bill Clinton and print as it relates to the suppression of black people. Not two way about it. I'm going to show you some of the evidence. Seriously. Bill Clinton and print, not only on 80 in 80. So then, having that history trailing behind Bill Clinton, why Andrew Holness administration want to invite Bill Clinton here? Let me go into some of the history so you can hear for yourself. Remember, you know, it is not Mystic Sensation or Melting Pot, right? Or Lonesome accusing Bill Clinton. We have nothing to do in terms of accusing Bill Clinton. We are going into the history and present the history and said, look, you have to be mindful, you understand, as it relates to the history of this person, right? And why his handprint is on the suppression of so many black race. Now, let us get into the history and show you. This is no joking. We're going to show you it 80 and other places. Now, let us get into that. Let us get into that. So why Andrew Holness made this move here? Everything that Andrew Holness is doing is showing me that Andrew Holness has no love for the Jamaican people. Right? First, let us get out this information to show you understand the involvement of Bill Clinton, right? Where Andrew Holness administration inviting Bill Clinton. Right? See it? Former US President Bill Clinton visit Jamaica to discuss Hurricane Melissa relief. Right? So we just show a little thing of that. Right then and there. We're going to show the evidence. Now, I'm going to get into some detail now, people. Now, watch this. We'll get into some detail and show, right, certain serious evidence in terms of 80 and other areas. Now, watch this, people. So why Andrew Holness pursue Bill Clinton? Why? Now, let us share this clip. Okay. Not getting that. All right. Jamaica, look at this issue with Bill Clinton. Let me see if we can expand it so you can also see it. It is not only 80, my Jamaican people, not only 80. So let me just bring it back so you can see it. Bill Clinton came into office with relatively little experience in foreign affairs, the collapse of the Soviet Union and the uncertainties of the post-Cold War world produced a number of foreign policy crises which challenged Clinton's ability as a statesman. Now, missteps in Somalia, Rwanda, and Haiti, more of the world facilities, you know. Weeks before Clinton took office, outgoing President George H.W. Bush had sent American troops into Somalia, a country located in Eastern Africa. What started out as a humanitarian mission to combat famine grew into a bloody military struggle, with the bodies of dead American soldiers dragged through the streets of the Somalian capital of Mogadishu in October 1993. Public support for the American mission waned, and Clinton announced a full withdrawal of U.S. forces, which took place in March 1994. United Nations peacekeeping troops remained in the country until the spring of 1995. The intervention ultimately accomplished little in Somalia. Warlords remained in control, and no functioning government was restored in the country after the United States and the United Nations left. The failure of American troops to be properly equipped for the mission led ultimately to the resignation of Secretary of Defense Les Aspin and created the impression of a president ill-prepared for foreign affairs. In April 1994, a vast killing spree broke out in Rwanda. Listen up, people. A nation located in Central Africa. An estimated 800,000 Tutsi and their defenders were murdered in a government-sponsored genocide. With the failure in Somalia still very much in the minds of American policymakers, neither the United States nor the United Nations move aggressively to stop the slaughter. You understand? They automatically, you understand, delay the process. You understand? To save X amount of people. Both Clinton and the world community were criticized for not acting quickly and decisively, not to stop the violent death of Rwandans. In 1998, the Clintons embarked on an extensive six-nation tour of Africa, during which the president stopped briefly in Rwanda to meet with survivors of the civil war and to issue an apology for actions not taken, right? In Haiti, following Clinton's failed October 1993 attempt to oust Haitian strongman Ruel Cedras, Farmer's President Jimmy Carter stepped in to negotiate with the brutal military dictator for his removal from power. Cedras had overthrown the Caribbean nation democratically elected President John Bertrand Aristide in a 1991 coup. They are accompanied by retired General Colin Powell and a Senator Samnon Carter communicated Clinton's threat to invade unless the generals of Rwanda relinquish power. With American planes in the air, the generals buckled and agreed to leave. United States forces were sent in to make certain that the agreement was enforced, but they were eventually withdrawn. The democratic institution of this impoverished nation remained fragile and endangered. Not only that, we are going to show some things in terms of Bill Clinton policies that damage, you understand, Haiti, you understand, and other black development countries. Bill Clinton. Now, look at these people. Now, look at this.
After the earthquake, and still many people live in makeshift tents because of the earthquake from 2010. But being there in Port-au-Prince and seeing ceremonies with President Bill Clinton, who said there are two critical issues in his life at that time. One was the marriage of his daughter, the imminent marriage of Chelsea, and the other is the reconstruction of Haiti. He was a major force in Haiti. What happened?
So first of all, we have to go back when we look at Bill Clinton and his relationship in Haiti when he was president. One of the worst things that he's done that's still hurting Haiti now, especially in the wake of these disasters that keep happening to Haiti, is this policy where he took the excess rice from Arkansas, where he's from, and dumped it in Haiti and used our tax dollars to subsidize it. Up until this past recent year, there's legislation that keeps getting knocked off to reverse this policy. Although he apologized for it.
Let's go to that apology. Yeah. Yes, in 2010, former President Clinton publicly apologized for forcing Haiti to drop tariffs on imported subsidized U.S. rice during his time in office. The policy wiped out Haitian rice farming, seriously damaging Haiti's ability to be self-sufficient. This is the president apologizing at a hearing before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. At the time, he was the UN Special Envoy to Haiti.
Since 1981, the United States has followed a policy until the last year or so we started rethinking it, that we rich countries that produce a lot of food should sell it to poor countries and relieve them of the burden of producing their own food. So thank goodness they can leap directly into the industrial era. It has not worked. It's maybe been good for some of my farmers in Arkansas, but it has not worked. It was a mistake. It was a mistake that I was a party to. I am not pointing the finger at anybody. I did that. I have to live every day with the consequences of the lost capacity to produce a rice crop in Haiti to feed those people because of what I did. Nobody else.
That's President Clinton.
This practice is still in effect, and Haiti is always getting rice dumped on them. Rice is a staple. There's no reason why Haiti should be importing rice because that's something that's always, the rice grown in Haiti is much healthier. Ever since this rice has been coming in, there have been diabetes epidemics. People didn't used to have that much diabetes. This is the worst thing that could have happened to Haiti.
But right now, in the aftermath of the hurricane, with Haitian officials warning there could be a famine, what are the most critical actions that you feel need to be taken?
I think it has to be supporting the farmers that are in these hardest hit areas, you know, by bringing rice and other things that could have been grown in Haiti. That's not helping at all. I think we need to support the farmers to start to recrop, you know, going forward and for the long term of Haiti. We need to start growing our rice in Haiti again, supporting the farmers in the Latibonite version, the Latibonite region of Haiti, where rice has always been grown in Haiti and supplied for the entire country.
And for the families of loved ones who have died, for the cholera epidemic, what is most critical right now that you're hearing from family and friends there?
I just think support. I mean, most families are supported by their families over here. And the fact that these refugees are being returned, these are refugees that want to work to support their families. If they're going to keep them in detention, they're not able to work. Prior to this announcement, September 22nd, they were letting them in. 4,000 to 5,000 people came in. They simply stopped it because they thought it would look bad for Hillary Clinton with the election coming on, having all these refugees come in. There are thousands more on the way. Let these people work and let them support their families.
Ninaj Raoul, I want to thank you for being with us, Executive Director of Haitian Women for Haitian Refugees on the board.
All right, let me show you Jamaica. Let me just speak to you a bit, right, as it relates to what we have seen Andrew Ones is doing, right, that sent some shockwave in terms of similar behavior, in terms of how the Clinton policies damage the Asian agriculture community, particularly as it relates to rice farming, right? Where he asked to remove tariff, right? And Bill Clinton, right, bring in Arkansas rice, right, and damage Asian farmers. Look what Andrew Ones is doing as it relates to the relief benefits and the catastrophe bond. Watch this, people, similar behavior. You are going to tell me that, okay, all right, what we face as it relates to the disaster and NHT and you getting the catastrophe bond, right, that you can't use it to stimulate the economy in terms of utilizing NHT to employ, you understand, many youths out of the construction program, right? Give them jobs, right? To build permanent structured home, concrete homes. No, Andrew Ones is not doing that. Andrew Ones is going down the route of containers, Because, of course, he has, you understand, his cronies to be benefited and not the people who are affected. This is what you have been preaching all along, right? That, hey, you can stimulate the economy, you get the money for the rebuilding. What is the purpose? Why you get the money? The rebuilding, right? Of many of the homes that have been damaged. Even although you have the 3 top builders of Jamaica warning Andrew when I said, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Stimulate the economy, right? Utilize the money. No, we don't know where the money are going. Let me tell you something, people. And this is why I'm bring up the history with Daryl Vaz and the whole of them and to show you how you understand the criminal mindset with what they have in them. Because where are they going? If they use NHT, right, to say, all right, we are going to construct concrete home, which is faster, more efficient, more stronger, right? They are not going to make any money. They are not going to get anything out of it. They are not going to get anything out of it. But the criminality have to still continue to swindle off the money. Right? Because, okay, you're going to tell me, you know, that if you're going to think about the economy, it's just straightforward. It's just common sense. ABC, 1, 2, 3. Use this money, right, to stimulate the economy. Right? Many of the youth, them who out of jobs. You understand, as it relates to the hurricane pathway that damaged, right, 6 to 7 parishes, right? Make the pathway, right, energize the pathway by using NHT to employ them youth there. You understand, for the construction to build. You understand, we have a clip with Marvin Edgar. You understand, the show Jamaica. Say, listen, you can take less than 2 weeks to build a strong home. Less than 2 weeks. And if you put X amount of people on the job, you can probably turn over, right, couple hundred house per month. Quick. But obviously, no. And then you're bringing Bill Clinton. Eh? To do what? Bringing Bill Clinton, where Bill Clinton known as it relates to the history in terms of suppressing black people, future to move on, to suppress developing countries. Look what Bill Clinton policies have done to Haiti, even though Haiti cannot survive from them. And you're doing what? You're bringing Bill Clinton to do what? Right? So then, why are you not following the advice of the technocrats? So then, if we are paying you, right, millions of dollars per year, roughly 27 to 28 million dollars per year, plus your wife, partially I get the same thing. So no both I get roughly about $56 million. Just looking up, one household, they get $56 million. So Jamaica, wake up. When you have the executive effing the legislature, then you know the judiciary get fucked. And just look on it. The reality in front of all our face. Because the executive effing the legislature. So then the judiciary must get knocked. Andrew Owners and Juliet Owners, they go to bed at night. In that one house, what you have? You have the executive, Andrew Owners, who represent the executive. You have his wife, who represent the legislature. And guess what? Yes, they are helping each other. And so then the judiciary get knocked. That's why Paul Buchanan case in a bind. Them extended arm and them extended corruption. There's no way we should have accepted this. Where you have the executive effing the legislature. and in extension, effing the judiciary. So the three arms of government sinking under our eyes, with the executive effing the legislature. So you tell me now, Jamaica, where the progress there? That can happen, that happened under our eyes. Two arms of government, two branches of government under one roof, sleeping in the one bed. So when the executive whisper something in the legislature, then in the Senate judiciary get now. Talk to me, people. And this is a shitting situation we have that Jamaica have to deal with. Like Unosise, the executive, effing the legislature. And so both of them effing the judiciary. Let me just seal back and bring in melting pot.
Yes, sir, Byron. Well, may I tell you, things bad in Jamaica. Really, really bad, my brother. But this is how Jamaicans should see Andrew Holness, Yeah? Not as the father of fiscal discipline, but as the father of all corruption. Yeah? Because everybody know about the Clinton them. Yeah? As a couple. Them indulge in a corruption and so them known to the world as corrupted couple. Yeah? Even Donald Trump, you hear him tell Hillary Clinton that. Yeah? But it take Andrew Holness to go wake up the whole piece of deadwood when him Clinton, all corrupted deadwood. Yeah? Long time them man the name now call, Yeah, calm them man the name call for all the corruption where you hear Sir Byron telling about. The corruption where run through Africa in terms of Somalia and Rwanda and all those places. And the corruption run down in Haiti. Remember, the Clinton them destroy Haiti as a country, Yeah. And its population. Yeah. So, I don't like them name no make the rounds around the world in terms of corruption. Yeah. But Andrew have a scheme where he want to orchestrate and him go wake up the whole deadwood of all corruption like himself to come help him with the new high level of corruption where he want to unleash in a Jamaica on the back of the taxpayers' money. Because anything where Andrew get right now, it belongs to the taxpayers of Jamaica, The cat ban, remember taxpayers' money that pay that insurance. The money where them get in a grant, in a loan, yeah? The taxpayer are going to pay back that too. So everything we are coming at Jamaica belongs to the taxpayer. But here's Andrew Wallace now. One sidestep all away Jamaica have in terms of people serving in building construction. Yeah, I'm gonna look for your old president, an old deadwood like Bill Clinton. Yeah, to come deal with container housing. Remember, the Builders Association, the Master Builders Association, the Institute of Architect and the Institute of Engineering in Jamaica tell this piece of shit say container houses is not the way to go. Me, Mystic and Lonesome tell him the same thing long time too. Long before the institute them come out. Yeah? So, alright, listen, the Titans. Alright? Because you say we probably not have no, knowledge in our way we are say. So what happened to the three main people in Jamaica? The Master Builders Association. Yeah, the Institute of Architect and the Institute of Engineering. What happened to them? Them not carry no weight. Well, we know why them not carry no weight, man. I know because them not have no weight. Because you don't want to use for them weight. You don't want to utilize them weight. You want to use a whole deadwood like Clinton and them foundation. You have to carry out your corruption now in a Jamaica. Because you don't like when people on the ground know where I go on, you know. And my Jamaican people, yeah, we are showing how Andrew Owen is wicked and evil too, no. Me don't know how no jump round. Me don't know how the labor right them follow this piece of shit, yeah, you know. Because everybody are Jamaican at the end of the day, whether you vote for PNP or labor right. Now Jamaica mash up through Melissa and work dead upon the ground to kickstart the economy in terms of building the proper housing and spend a one-time money. You know what the piece of shit guy Andrew Wallace want to do? Go bring container, utilizing a terms of temporary houses, but you can't put temporary houses in a housing scheme. Housing scheme is a permanent development. So if you have to create a housing scheme, you have to create a housing scheme on the back of permanent structure. You understand? But Andrew Wallace want to bypass that. I mean, I ask the question, yeah, why housing trust a disrespect Sir Daddy Manley, yeah? Sir Michael Manley, the founder of housing trust. Why would I disrespect the man? Michael Manley began to build proper solid houses that can resist hurricane category 5 level, you know. For poor people at affordable cost, you know. Una work with Andrew Wallace and a mash up housing trust car. Uno are the cliques behind Andrew Wallace. Una are the germs that we identify in a civil society. We are mash up Jamaica car, butter rub on the wall of our mouth out there. Andrew Wallace not supposed to come tell housing trust nothing about house. Because Andrew money and the Labour Party government are the contributors money run housing trust. Pay the staff them up there and everything like that. It is not a government entity that relies on government funding. It funds itself, NHT. So we have Andrew going there. In the DISCAIMER over 600 odd million. Yeah, no come off that. Them build some houses using NHT money. None of them can sell. I must see one of the apartments sell. Yeah, because them do not build good first place and them not design for poor people. So them build them for investors. Nobody now come at Jamaica. High level of corruption and crime and murder. Nobody now come at Jamaica. And only but Jamaica cannot buy them and will not buy them for the price. Yeah? So we see where Andrew go. So Andrew want to leave out the youth them now. If you kickstart the economy, go spend the money with a whole piece of deadwood criminal corrupted guy like Bill Clinton and them foundation. Yeah? And have the people them in Jamaica wait for handout. Because Andrew normalize handout him and the Labour Party, you know. Normalize it. I remember Michael Manley tell you that, you know, anybody come looking for a handout, it not there surround IPNP. But him alter the balance in favor of the black and the poor, and them have no apology in doing that. But remember them word there? Them that word where Michael Manley put out there, them they come in like, you know, a motto. Like when you join the scout and it say what is the scout matter? The scout matter is be prepared. You understand? So that is like a motto for Jamaican for ribbing on the head and know so you say handout it no good. Michael Manley telling you, you know. If you come around here so look for handout it no there around here so. We must work together. We must become strong in self-reliance. Yeah, so we can build a better nation. So Jamaican can have a place where you raise your kids, you know, and enjoy life. Educate your kid because the platform him set that, you know. You understand? But this guy have come and he want to orchestrate all of the money where I jump a jar over the money where they in a parliament, you know. And Marky G make sure tell them, say, this money is not a money when you jump and celebrate and a gallivant over, you know. Because this money have come with high austerity measure and high inflation. And the only people we have to pay the brunt of that are the poor people when I have nothing already. Uno a thief, uno hold it for billions of dollars, uno alright, you know. Uno good. Because now uno hold for billions, sit down pan all over and how much bank accounts spread out all over the world. Canada, UK, Europe, yeah, America, everywhere we have down in the Caribbean, everywhere we have money. While the poor people, we have to pick up the slack at this $6.7 billion, yeah, loan package. Them not have nothing. So they jump in for join a parliament and a galavan. Me not see the sense in that. A Marky G pointed out, a Marky G was 100% right in pointing out that. So Andrew have a bag of money at him disposal right now and say him carry out procurement on it. What a man full of shit. If you never carry out procurement on the 16 government entities them, when I submit nothing for 11 years, or you have carry out procurement on something just come in. Eh?
Exactly.
So him sit down on it and him a victimize and him a marginalize the people in our country. Yeah? So we have to look on this guy as a criminal operating at the place. And that's why now, you know, say, as we say all along, time have to come for the guy, we have to draw down the shut up on him. We have to. So my Jamaican people, we have to start rebel upon the guy, you know. Because I can't believe the guy now give the youth them and the trade man them to work in our country. We build some proper houses. One stand for all. But you know, so the house them can't stand up against the next hurricane, maybe it come next year. Container house can't stand up against hurricane, category 5. Yeah? So the right way to go, to utilize the taxpayers' money the right way in a one-off building construction program with the proper regulation and building plan in place. Yeah? Get in the structural engineer them, use the money wisely, put up the basic infrastructure as it relates to gully and drain and sidewalk and culvert. Fix the road them. Build back Jamaica stronger and better as what you say. But you are nastiness, you go come tell the people them sweet word. And then you go one side and laugh after them in the dark in the night and you friend them. When the whole color congregate and rob the country. Because that's what we know to do. You come out a day with your PR, your trick and your lie and your cons. And in the dark you celebrate over on a champagne and a caviar, cigar. And rob the taxpayers and the country. Sell out the country behind the people and back at night. Take with them beach from them at night. Then wake up in the morning, them beach gone. And that enjoy to the people in Jamaica. And I said to all labor right, you know, wake up in the car, una the problem, you know. And una the stumbling block in a Jamaica development and Jamaica growth and prosperity. Labor rights are the stumbling block. They are the one that is mounting the barrier against the island of Jamaica. And we have to say time come now. Time come to put an end to this type of systemic behavior where we see that where corruption has become the norm. This government normalized corruption to the extent where corruption find its way into our parliamentary system. My people, even when Big Mama tried to burn down, God knows what's corruption now. Because that would have pain for the PMP, you know. The arson attack with Big Mama and its conglomerate them carry out upon the house of the land, which is God no house, the parliament. Yeah? If that did go through a PMP, take the blame. Because why would a ruling government support a burn down the house? A parliament. So we know them style how them operate. But you see in the midst of all corruption, you have God present, you know. God did spare, God knows. Yeah? Because when them that try to orchestrate that, you know, that would have caused the setback of the election, you know. Yeah, man, you'd have to delay the election, man, because you're not in a parliament. Parliament a bun down, man, I see them here see the thief some money and go build up a new parliament. one of two things, you know. They would have yesterday, you know, come up with an emergency fund package. We build a new parliament and rob a bag of money this again. Because it's a criminal government we have, you know. Criminal government with a criminal guy calling himself prime minister. That's why I have to remind him every day, saying he's not prime minister material. And him not surplus to no requirement, because Jamaica people don't want him to work on their behalf anymore, you know. You can't have a thief at work for you, man. If you have a thief in your shop, the fact of the matter and the truth of the matter, you're going to have police invade your shop because you have a thief in there. So where Andrew Wallace is concerned, law-abiding Jamaican, not in favor of him running the country. Because at any time we can see some Black Hawk, some Chinook helicopter and whatever come pick up this guy like how them they pick up the dust. This guy think him safe, you know. Him not really safe. It's only a matter of time. Because you see in time him can't deliver for the slave backroom ass up in the US. Yeah, we're sitting in Washington, the capital. Remember, no say him have nothing to them anymore, you know. It's just like the ghetto youth. When the politician them use, you know, and you can't deliver nothing more for them get rid of, you know. Them soon get rid of the piece of shit. Because he won't have nothing more for offer to them. Because I tell you, say, I drown across the Atlantic Ocean, you know. When Andrew come back to Jamaica, you know, he won't be no prime minister nor no member of parliament. We just know that piece of shit who robbed the country from in the 70s, late 70s, 90s. Yeah? Just a piece of shit that robbed the country from in the late 90s. From the meantime to politics, you know. I want aim and objective Andrew Wallace coming a politics to be a politician, you know. It's to rob the country. It's to gain the upper hand. To control Jamaica and rob Jamaica, sell out Jamaica. You see the guy take 12-year concession deal from Jamaica airport, man, out of Norman, man. 12-year concession, what him do with the money? That money, yeah? That money end up in a first rack, you know. Gone. Gone. Can't come back. Gone. Again, I tell you. Say Andrew tell him to do what him do. I know what him a cop the blame. So me know Andrew are the CEO for corruption in Jamaica. The rest of them go carry out the mandate where them get. Yeah? Andrew run everything when it comes to corruption. Well, we know Pumbaz him a all criminal from long time. Name a call pan things from my little boy. You understand? Yeah? So we Andrew do, no say, well, alright. Yeah, him a one general too. Me can't use him up here so. Yeah? Guy him know about them things, you know. Him adverse to them things. So Andrew drive, so my number one, you know. In line to Andrew, you know. But number two in reality. But if Andrew should, you know, step aside, a Pumbaz that become number one. But currently my number two, Andrew at the list. Yeah, so we know everything in that regard. Yeah. So we have said to Jamaican people, who don't have to rebel against the container houses. It is a waste of taxpayers' money. And it will take several Jamaican lives. God forbid if we have another category 5 next year. Can you imagine you get container house this year and next year you wipe out through the same container house? That are the poison where you hear and telling the same at 2 pound down there. That is a poison. And they're telling about the poison, you know. That 2016 when they were opposition. But if you know, say, Andrew like to do a thing called reverse psychology. When him tell you to run, you walk. If him tell you walk, you run. If Andrew tell you say PMP I got 2 poison pound, it mean a JLP I got dose with poison. And right now him a dose with poison. Right now the guy a dose with poison. That's why nobody can strive in a Jamaica, you know. Everybody under the pinch, you know, under the grip, you know, Andrew and him nasty regime. You understand? Andrew don't have black people at the forefront of mind. You have to have film shade of color and lighter. Here? So you can go on and think, say, Andrew in a uno. The only reason why you see him have size 14 around him, because she upgrade to 14. Because, you know, him can't do otherwise, you know. Because size 14 man angle that. Incredible all bully that. And that I get bully from school days. Yeah? So him couldn't depart, him have to stick to the formula. Get him box up them regular. Can't go nowhere. So she have a grip on him. You understand? But other than that, are the closest that him come to black people, man. The closest. And if you notice, that's so shady. Foundation weak. Because you know, same heart night, you know. I just him head in that marriage there. Just him heart there, there's somewhere else. They're against a side chick bulldozer and many more. So this guy don't have what it takes to be a prime minister or a leader. He is not a role model. He is not an example to the youth that may have come. Because if you take Andrew example, you will be a criminal. You can't follow him footsteps. Remember, this guy has been plagued by high-level controversy surrounding theft and corruption. All the Ponzi scheme them in name call upon them people. There is not one Ponzi scheme where name no call upon. And when you dig deep and scratch the surface, him are the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer. Him run them. Him create them. But Trim study political science, he move like him can't mash hands. Andrew a dinosaur to Jamaica. I remember people human being can't survive around dinosaur, you know. You'd have to extinguish the dinosaur before human being come. Yeah? So they look for Andrew as one little hands, you know. A dinosaur. Dinosaur, my people. Dangerous to human life. So no be wise, you know. Be wise. Because me are telling my Jamaican people, we have Jamaica as an island. Best interest in a few heart. Yeah? That you hear Byron say, you know, I'm opening thing. No matter where him go, Jamaican is his home. Just like me. Yeah? Just like me. So me no want a little guy from nowhere. A guy who come out of obscurity. Yeah? And come get light a shine upon him. Where people can't see him. Come take my place and think of him. And deal with it in any way, shape, or form. Don't care about preserving the rights of the people, which is their democracy. A guy will come bring a thing called dictatorship. We have to get rid of him. We have to. So it's time to rebel against corruption, my Jamaican people. It's time you let your voice heard. It's time you set your feet on the ground. And remember, there is a hymn that says, onward Christian soldier, marching on to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before. God will pilot you through the midst. As long as you not do something that the Lord see that is right for his people, he will stretch his hand right across that rebellion. Rebel, my Jamaican people, and get rid of this Pharaoh. And I yield back the floor to you, my brother.
All right, my brother. Well, melting pot. Thank you for that. You know, people, believe you me, we have a lot more now. But you know the thing said, right? And we have to just break here, right? Because I have to go to the barber shop, right, and get, barbering. I hope I can finish early to make it now for Titans. So we're a little bit over the time. I hope the barber shop not busy. You understand? So melting pot, I have to run out. You understand?
Yeah, man, you have to run out because you know a Titan people later on a Titan, you know.
Exactly.
And the thing I got turn up even more and that next 2 notch over a Titan tonight, you know.
All right.
I know man in the wilderness over there, so I know I melting pot will be there. And hopefully God's willing, Brother Byron will be there as well. So we just gear up my people, get to yourself, in line and ready for the Titan.
Go to the barber shop now. So people, once again, I want to say big thanks, for pass through Mystic Sensation and spend a vibes, with us. Because over here, right, definitely you will get the facts, you get the research, you're going to see the source of the information, right? Where no other guy can tell you otherwise. Because so when it comes to Mystic Sensation, the facts, and anytime you want the information, you understand, we'll drop the information that anyone who want to oppose you and say you're wrong, let them consult the information, consult the source. They don't need to consult Mystic Sensation, Melting Pot, or Lonesome, because we always show the source. You understand? So why blame we, right? And don't blame the mainstream media, which they are using the same mainstream media. Big Mama Draws Davis, they depend on the mainstream media. Also, we use the mainstream media, right? But we do our deep dive in terms of investigation and go deeper, right? We are not censored while they are censored. So we are not controlled to a particular program, you understand, and must follow that program. When we do our research, we research, you understand, and bring up evidence and so forth. So we give, right, a more wider, you understand, basis of information, deep dive that you are getting. You understand? As I said, we are not censored. They are censored. So that is the reason why you understand they are trying to pull us down, right? But ask them every time they come out and say that we are sowing the seed of misinformation and disinformation. Say to them, what are the seeds of misinformation and disinformation that they are sowing? Would you mind saying so that we can address the situation and have it corrected? But if you notice, they are not saying it, because guess what? They know that we are telling the truth. My people, big up yourself. Love me now. You understand? Oh, Melting Pot, salute, my brother. Blessings. Cool. All right, my people, walk good.
I know why you come to me with that foolishness, You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister run the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want the right stand that stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable and stop making excuses for them.